Welcome back to Second and Short. It is a Friday, October 25th, 2024. The final full week of October is upon us, which means
Mhm.
it is NFL Week 8. That is underway. As you're listening to this, you already know who won, Rams or Vikings. We might be seeing a Rams team we haven't seen in a while. Cooper Kupp fully ready to go. Puka Nacua, as of right now, it's 5 o'clock. We don't know what his role will be. He's been activated, so he might have a day as well. Lot to look forward to in Thursday Night Football. Obviously, you guys know what happened. We also have the World Series beginning because you guys are listening to this on Friday. Tonight, 8 p.m., Yankees-Dodgers in L.A. Big deal. Obviously, it's the
Ooh,
World Series. Obviously, Luke is ready to go. We've got a
yeah.
bunch of predictions and previews to do here for the World Series. But on top of that, Premier League season just kind of rolls on here. Hasn't really heated up yet, if that makes sense. Like, it just seems like everybody's just still getting into
Figuring it
the
out.
swing of things. Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. But we are through match week 3 now in the Champions League stage. Or the UCL. That part does bother me. It sounds weird to say Champions League stage.
Yeah.
I
Didn't
don't
think that
like
one
that.
through.
Yeah, they didn't think that through. You could just say UCL league stage, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, before we do anything, Kennesaw State upset Liberty yesterday. How amazing
Yeah.
is
And
that?
Malik Willis isn't even there anymore, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Sawyer, I think is the guy's name. Slayer. I can't even remember the guy's name. Caden Salter, maybe I think is his name. I don't know. That's KSU's first win as an FBS team, and it's their first win over an FBS team in program history. It just happened to be a previously undefeated Liberty team that was kind of contending for the Group of 5 bid in the college football playoff, which is long gone now.
Yeah.
Unreal. I literally, like,
Definitely.
if you haven't watched the college football show from this week, obviously watch that when you're done here. But I recorded that Tuesday night, and I was like, at the end of the episode, like, I was wearing a KSU hoodie, and at the end of the episode, I was like, yeah, I had to, rep Kennesaw State, blah blah blah. Like, the game will have already happened. When you guys are seeing this, I would assume we lost, and I was literally editing that part like right after the final score came, like right after the game went final, and I was like, holy shit. Like, how did this happen? So shout out to the Owls. Hootie hoo. Luke,
Hooty hoo.
how you doing today? Going into NFL Week 8.
I'm great. It's more going into the World Series for me,
Yes,
if
of
I'm being
course,
honest.
of course.
I just, I would just like to take a moment and just to say, like, this is the first time in, well, not the first time, but the first time in 15 years that my two favorite teams, obviously being the Steelers and the Yankees, being the teams I care about the most, that I've seen go to their championship in their sport, which is, I honestly don't think it's hit me yet.
Yeah.
I'm still in disbelief, and I know, like, obviously, yeah, it's the Yankees, whatever. It's still been 15 years,
Yes, it has been a
so
while.
it's extremely exciting, extremely exciting.
Yeah, I lucked out with the Falcons and Braves. Obviously, we didn't win the Super Bowl, but like that happening in what, like a 4-year span was awesome.
It's good.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
was like the year prior, or like 2 years prior to the Falcons making the Super Bowl, the Hawks made the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they made the Eastern Conference Finals again after the Braves won the World Series. It was a good time to be like an Atlanta sports fan for like a couple of years. Now, we only won one championship in that time, and well, Atlanta United as well, winning in that
yeah,
same time frame. So it was a good time to be an Atlanta fan. So I understand where you're at right now, where it's like this. It doesn't even feel right to like be in the
no.
championship because you haven't even thought about the idea of it coming to that.
Yeah, I actually, me and my Spanish professor, we had a conversation in class today, and she was like asking, like, are we for the Dodgers or the Yankees? And I
Mm,
wore this outfit to
yeah.
school, obviously with my hat. And then, she started asking me about players. She's like, like, ¿te gusta Aaron Judge? And I was like, por supuesto.
No.
And then, I asked her, like, if she liked Juan Soto, and she was like, of course.
Yeah. How could you
So
not?
I respect that. Yeah, she said he was a little bit arrogant, which, to be honest with you,
Agreed.
I don't get that from him.
Oh, it definitely is.
I don't know if it's biased, but like I just think he's confident. I think he's a pretty good guy, just
I,
from what I've seen, like in interviews and
yeah,
stuff.
no.
I wouldn't
I
say
don't
arrogant.
think on a personal level he's arrogant. I think it's just the way he plays. Like, but I think the
Yeah,
same way of like Fernando Tatis. I think they both
yeah,
are like that.
yeah. That's true. But sometimes you got to be like that.
Yeah, yeah. I
You know
agree.
what I mean?
I
So,
agree. I hate Juan
yeah,
Soto
just
for
really
totally
excited.
different reasons. He was a
Yeah,
problem for me for years. Even though the Nationals weren't good, he was a problem.
yeah.
Well, they won a
Always
World
an
Series,
issue.
but yeah, he's been an issue for me for a while. And okay, we're going to talk about this obviously when we talk about the World Series. I know who I'm rooting for. I'm not going to say it yet.
Uh-oh.
And I have a lot to talk about of why.
Oh,
So
man.
we'll get to that. Okay,
Come to the evil empire, Grayson.
we'll see. We're going to talk today. We got NFL Week 8 to start the show off. Then we'll talk World Series, Premier League weekend, Champions League Match Day 3. We'll round it out with some questions time presented by Nathan. Once again, shout out to Nathan getting these ones on time.
I thought this episode was presented by Gatorade.
No, actually, I'm gonna redact
Or is it
that.
FanDuel?
No, you got to pay us for your name to be said. Sorry, guys. Definitely not FanDuel. They wouldn't touch us because we're in Georgia.
Oh, that's right.
But if anybody would like to, I know we've opened our doors to what Saudi Arabia, I think, is welcome.
Yep, Brooks
of course,
has
welcome.
officially
they've welcomed themselves.
Yeah.
Any local like Mexican restaurant, welcome.
Oh my God, dude!
awesome.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, free
would
chips
be
and
great.
queso on Second and Short. Great.
Yeah.
Be great. Yeah, feel free to reach out with any business inquiries. Okay, enough of the BSing. Let's talk NFL Week 8. I'm very excited for this week. I think there's a lot of interesting matchups, good matchups. A lot of guys coming back from injury to talk about.
Yeah. Especially for this game that we're about to talk about.
Yeah, we'll start with Thursday Night Football. Obviously, you guys know what happened, but the Vikings are 3-point favorite against the Rams on the road. Cooper Kupp is back, 100% back. Puka Nacua is a game-time decision on how much he will play, but he has been activated off the IR. On the Vikings side, we might get Hawkinson tonight. I'm not too sure, but it doesn't seem like they're rushing him back, considering they're playing so well. So I don't necessarily know if that will be the case. If we get to see Hawkinson tonight, obviously you guys will know if we do. I want to start this by talking about these weird-ass rumors that are entirely false and have no reason to be made of why Matthew Stafford is being linked in a trade to the Vikings. Can somebody explain that to me? Like, why would the Vikings
I definitely can't
ever make a trade at quarterback right now? And also, why would the Rams trade with the Vikings right now?
Yeah, I have no idea, especially, I think maybe some of us have forgotten, but the Vikings did draft a quarterback in the first round. On top of, Sam Darnold playing like how he is, it's just,
they're going
to
have
just
a
never
happen.
happen.
Back next year.
Yeah. And I don't know, like what are the Rams going to get from the Vikings that really helps them?
Nothing. A quarterback? Yeah, like
who?
Exactly. I really don't understand where that came from. And then like people are trying to double down on it. And now people are trying to just joke with it. Like people are like, oh, all of the Rams or all of the Vikings team is flying out to LA to watch Stafford on Thursday Night Football. It's funny. But yeah, that made no sense when I first saw somebody trying to say that would happen.
Yeah, I think the real rumors are with Cooper Kupp right now.
Yes.
There's been a lot of interesting talk with him.
I've heard the Steelers mentioned.
I have heard too.
Yeah, very.
But the Steelers are mentioned.
I've heard the Steelers mentioned with a couple of people, but primarily Cooper Kupp.
Not DeAndre Hopkins though.
No, not DeAndre Hopkins. He's a Chief. We'll talk about that. He is playing this week. Don't worry about that. Andy Reid already confirmed.
Good for him.
Yeah,
good for D-Hop, man.
What a fantasy draft pick by me to get DeAndre Hopkins. So bad for the Titans the whole start of the year. He was injured before the season started when I drafted him. Now he's a Chief, and he might be the number one option immediately.
Yeah, which is wild. I mean, already best quarterback he's ever had. It just sucks that, he's already I wouldn't say so old, but, he's definitely past what he was
Yeah.
with Deshaun. So I will be monitoring that though. You know how I feel about D Hop.
Yeah.
I think he's probably my second favorite wide receiver of our
Oh, really?
generation.
Behind
I would
AB?
say. Oh yeah, yeah, behind AB
Yeah.
because I don't know. D Hop is just crazy, man.
Yeah, no,
I
I
a lot
like
of
D-Hop.
sentimental attachment.
Yeah, he I would say he's top 5 for sure for me in this generation. Obviously, Julio's my guy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of there's some blurred lines with this generation of wide receivers. Like, does Calvin Johnson fall into that? He
Um.
retired kind of early in
Boy,
his career.
retired. Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
No? Okay.
Uh-uh.
Mike
No,
Evans would
he
be up
feels
there.
like more of like a
Despite my hatred for him, Mike Evans would be there.
yeah. I don't know. Calvin feels like more of an early 2010s, late 2000s guy
Fair.
for me. Even though he played into like the what? When did he retire? 2016
I think
was his
so.
last
I think
year,
it was
maybe.
2016 or
Yeah,
17.
yeah. Shout out Calvin Johnson, man.
Yeah, facts. Okay. Not much to talk about here with Vikings Rams because everybody already
No.
knows what happened. Um, Score prediction?
I'm going to take the upset here. I think the Vikings may have, who knows, maybe they're wavering after the Lions game, although they did play well and it was super close.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Rams with all their guys back here.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Rams 28-21.
Okay. Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
Rams' offensive line is still a problem. I think a lot of guys still hurt. Last week, I think they had 2 undrafted rookies starting on the offensive line. I think 1 or 2 of them is still starting this week. So I'm going to take the Vikings just because that pass rush is lethal. Matt Stafford's going to have no time to throw the ball. Luckily, he has Cup back, but I don't know if it'll help enough. All right.
What's your score?
Oh, yeah. Score. Give me the Vikings 24, Rams 10.
Okay.
Not going to be a very entertaining game tonight, unfortunately.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. No, I think
I think it could be.
run away with it.
There's a lot of talent on the field now because Kyron's still there. Cup's back.
Yeah, that's true. But I think the Vikings defense has been so good. Like, I know they weren't great against the Lions, but they've been so good.
Yeah.
And then that Rams offensive line, what I saw out of them last week, if any of those guys are still starting this week, it's a problem. So
yeah.
I can't be in on the Rams just yet. If Cup and Nakua were fully healthy and the offensive line was healthy, I'd be cool with it. But and then I think like Tre'Davious White, I don't think is playing, or at least he was questionable. Braden Fisk, I think, is out. There's a number of guys on the defense that are also missing. So a lot of question marks with the Rams. Let's talk about Sunday though. Eagles Bengals starts it off. No Europe game this week.
Yay!
I don't mind it as long as it's a good matchup. Unfortunately, there's none that have been good matchups except like Vikings Jets. And that one ended up being kind of a weird game. Every other game has been like the shittiest matchup, and it doesn't get better. I think we have the Germany game in a couple weeks, and it's like Giants Panthers or something. it's horrible.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it is, but Eagles Bengals to start off the week here. Bengals 2.5-point favorite at home. A lot of guys banged up on the Eagles. Obviously, they got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith back, still banged up. So many guys on that defensive side of the ball, a couple guys on the offensive line. Saquon's questionable, apparently. I think he sustained some minor injury last week. But, yeah, Eagles super beat up. Bengals on the other side, also pretty injured, especially on defense. Obviously, we already knew all the guys that have gone to the IR for them. But Trey Hendrickson didn't practice today. Neither did Geno Stone. So that's another big problem.
Oh,
the secondary is already banged up enough. If you don't have Geno Stone back there, it's going to be an issue. Obviously, Trey Hendrickson is like an actual game changer on the defensive line for this team and like affects the outcome of a lot of drives. So if he's not going to play, that's going to be a huge issue. But I do like the direction that the Bengals offense is trending in. Last week, it was a slow start against the Browns. They ended up figuring it out, but I do think they're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm looking at them right now. Kind of weird. The Bengals are 3-1 in away games. That's been all their wins. They have not won a home game yet. That's going to be pretty interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the Eagles in this one. I just feel like the Bengals are a lot less established in what they're trying to do. I think they're still trying to find their identity a little bit, kind of like with what you literally just brought up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the Eagles in this one, but then again, like Devonta Smith kind of had a bizarre game last week against the Giants. Um, and on top of that, they did play the Giants.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know. And then I don't know. This 21-14 against the Browns just seems so. That's just a weird score to
it
have
is.
against a team that's that bad that also lost to Sean.
I think.
So
Well, Chubb was back. Obviously, he didn't do much, but he scored a touchdown. And then you didn't have Deshaun weighing you down for what, like a quarter and a half. Obviously, DTR is a issue, and that's why he's not
well,
starting. But
Deshaun only had 2 incompletions
yeah,
in this game.
but also like the weight of the devil being your quarterback holds you back quite a bit.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
yeah, I don't know. The Bengals, that performance was odd. The defense obviously sucks. So, because they are so beat
Yeah.
up. The Eagles, why can't they decide what they want to do? Some weeks they're
And
passing, some weeks they're running.
oh yeah,
No weeks are they doing everything well. That's my
yeah.
issue right now for the Eagles.
It's Nick Sirianni trying to save himself.
Yeah, he is. Every single game this season is going to be Nick Sirianni like pleading for his job. And this seems like one of those games where he probably could get away with it because the Bengals are a team that the win will look good because you're the underdog going on the road, but it's really not as impressive as it seems.
Yeah.
That's the way I see this game, and I see the Eagles winning it. So I'm gonna go score prediction. Let's go Eagles. Eagles 21, Bengals 17.
I'm gonna take the Eagles 31, Bengals 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next game. A little bit of AFC North action. Ravens 8.5-point favorites visiting the Dog Pound. The Browns are still going to be bad. Jameis Winston is starting, which I'm very happy about. Shout out Jameis. But
Me too.
this
Love Jameis Winston.
This might be a massacre.
Yeah, it definitely could be. But
like the beating that the Ravens put up on the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football was it was a closer game than it looked, but that was the performance you want to see. And like Lamar wasn't even running the ball. It was like they were just giving the ball to Derrick Henry, and Lamar was just dotting guys up all fucking game.
Oh my god, dude, that Rashad Bateman route.
Oh my god. Unreal.
Unbelievable. Mark Andrews woke up.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely woke up.
And yet, dude, I can't help but smirk watching Derrick Henry just prove me wrong. Like I don't know, man.
I knew it worked. It was such a perfect match, dude. Todd Monken getting a running back of that caliber in his offense is like so perfect. Like he made Gus Edwards look good last year. Of course, Derrick Henry was going to thrive.
Yeah, and boy did he. And then on the Browns side, I couldn't be more excited to see Jameis Winston. Obviously, it's always fuck Cleveland. You know, they are rivals with the Steelers. But Jameis Winston, really, really great interview post-game, talking about Deshaun. I thought at least.
I think him and Myles Garrett handled themselves really well.
I didn't see what Myles Garrett said.
Okay, Myles Garrett, kind of interesting claim. I think he said he was a world-class human. Which, no. But I think he was talking about since his time with the Browns, or at least the guy he knows, which I'm sure Deshaun Watson's not coming in the locker room being like, hey, guess what I did this week? But like I will give Myles Garrett and Jameis Winston the benefit of the doubt, saying the guy that they know in Deshaun Watson could be a good guy and a good teammate. It's just the public image of Deshaun Watson is horrible.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, I'm sure it's tough for Browns players to talk about him in the media because like you cannot, you cannot not hear what people are saying about him and, what's going on in the courts and stuff. So, and I don't know. I commend Jameis Winston very, very much for his response. I thought it was very, very mature.
Yeah. Also, he
didn't get all weird like he usually does.
Yeah. Typically he would get weird. I love him so much. Like I think like a day or two ago, he like put out this like sponsored video with some company that he's got a deal with, and like it was just like the funniest. Like,
It
okay,
always is.
tell me Jameis Winston isn't like the cutest dude. Like he acts cute, not like
Yeah.
like he's adorable.
Yeah. No,
Jameis Winston
you're
has an
exactly right.
adorable personality.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the game though. Cleveland's defense still not messing around. Still a good defense. Still can show up for games. It's just about
Yep.
how long do they have to be on the field? Because at some point they're going to get worn out. You luck out Chubb kind of slowly being reincorporated into this offense. Jameis now in at quarterback. We could see a new look Cleveland Browns this week without the dead weight of, as I mentioned earlier, the devil incarnate at quarterback.
Yeah.
I think we will see a new look for Cleveland. Obviously, it's just not the new look that will beat the Ravens.
Yeah, well, what I think I'm excited more is going back to Jameis Winston. He's the kind of backup quarterback, and I would say I think you could argue him more than anybody else. He is 1,000% not afraid to take shots as a backup quarterback. I feel like
not.
you have you have a lot of backup quarterbacks. Yeah. You have a lot of backup quarterbacks come into the game, regardless if they've been in the league for a while or not. But like a lot of them are like kind of check down guys. It's a little bit boring. No, Flacco and Winston are guys that they're just gonna sling it. I mean, they're just going to play like they have confidence. And I think, who knows? It's an AFC North game. Could be a trap game for the Ravens. You got Jameis Winston slinging it. Who knows? Maybe it ends up being a close one.
Yeah, this could be a good 2 weeks in a row where we see some good stuff out of him and his former college rival Marcus Mariota. Last week, Mariota had to come in on the first series and led the Commanders to a hell of a victory. Yes, it was over the Panthers, but a hell of an offensive showing by Marcus Mariota. Why can't Jameis do it this week? Why not?
I know.
Nonetheless, give me the Ravens 31, Browns 14.
Give me the Ravens 24, Browns 14.
Okay. All right. Let's move to maybe the biggest blowout of the week potentially. Titans Lions. Lions 11-point favorites at home, and it does not help that the Titans just trade away D-Hop. Obviously, that's a problem.
No.
Also, Calvin Ridley, Jeffrey Simmons, and L'Jarius Sneed did not practice at all this week, up to this point.
So you have Tyler Boyd and Okonkwo.
Yeah,
basically.
And nobody on defense.
Nobody on defense, yeah.
Lions' offensive line is a bit beat up right now, but nobody's necessarily out yet. They do have a couple of guys that are beat up. I think limited practice for a lot of those guys on the offensive line. If the Lions show up like they did last week, the Titans will be quitting by the end of the first quarter.
Oh, for sure.
Even without Jameson
the Lions,
Williams. Stay off the weed.
Yeah, stay off the weed. Yeah, no, the Lions have been rolling because, like, I mean, good win against the Vikings. You put up 31 points, but you're still coming off of, just a blowout win in Jerry World with 47. I mean, they've scored a lot of points, and it's just like the Lions could not have gotten like hot at a better time, in my opinion, especially going up against the Vikings the Titans this week. Oh my God, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I agree. This is like,
so
and
bad.
Like we saw with Titans like last week, Mason Rudolph, he might be still in at quarterback. Will Levis is still questionable. But no matter who's a quarterback with the Titans, they're not going to win. But like last week, they were beating the Bills like 10-0. And then the Bills just totally stomped them out.
Yeah.
So like it could start like that again, but the Lions are just, man, they're moving quickly. And I know Montgomery is banged up, but Jahmyr Gibbs pulled his weight and then some this past week.
Yeah.
So I'm really not worried about them right now.
No. You ready to go ahead and give a score prediction?
Yeah.
I think the Lions are gonna keep rolling. I'm gonna take them a little bit less score again though, just because I don't know. Breaking 30 just seems, hard to do 3 weeks in a row. So I'm going to give them 28. I'll give them 3 less. 28-7.
I'm gonna have them breaking 30, only by a field goal. I'm gonna go 31-6.
Okay.
2 field goals for the Titans. All right, next game: Cardinals Dolphins. Dolphins 3.5-point favorite at home. and Tua is back. No guardian cap.
No.
No guardian cap is questionable. And he was like proud to say it in that press conference. They were like, "So are you going to be wearing a guardian cap?" Nope. Personal decision. All right, dude. Maybe you shouldn't be making personal decisions. Just saying.
He needs to get a girlfriend that's like going to set him right and like keep him alive.
Does he not have like a wife? I'm pretty sure he's married.
I don't know.
He seems like a married man.
Look it up. Yeah, he seems like he probably would be married. I agree. Hang on.
If I had to guess, she's a white blonde girl that he met at Alabama. That's just my
one of them SEC women.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any.
Okay.
Personal life. Graduated early. Yeah. He has kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Look at that. That should be enough to say maybe I should take care of my brain.
Selfish bitch. To attack below.
Exactly. That's. Look, I'm not gonna stop a man from making his own decisions, but when a court of law could, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, your brain is important. I'm gonna get past this, but your brain is very important. Tyreek and Jalen Waddle praying that Tua plays well. Jalen Waddle is, I guess, a little bit banged up. He's questionable. I think he'll play. Tyreek said, like, "Hey, fantasy owners, start me." Like, Tyreek was so ready. He is so ready for this dog shit quarterback play to be over. Also, Tyler Huntley's hurt, so Tua kind of has to play. Because Tim Boyle will not get the start. I'll tell you that. Cardinals.
Odell's still.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that Odell still has no receptions this year.
Yeah. Crazy. He's played 2 games.
That's wild.
Cardinals offense for the other side just can't put up points consistently.
No.
Last week was fine. Nope. Monday night was fine, but it's the James Conner show, and then Kyler does one good thing every game.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't think Kyler has enough weapons. If I'm the Cardinals, I'd be looking at probably bringing in another wide receiver.
Okay.
Maybe in free agency.
We already knew that they needed a wide receiver. They went out in the draft, and they got the consensus number 1 wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr. He's been good. He hasn't been perfect, nor great, I would even say. But then, like, he has a couple of, like, contributors. Like, Michael Wilson's not bad. And obviously, McBride is amazing.
Yeah.
And, is that not enough to at least compete?
We've brought up before on the podcast that, the Cardinals wide receiver 2s and 3s have showed up a lot this season and really helped them out in some games. But then, you look at games like against the Chargers and it just isn't enough.
No.
So
I think at times that wide receiver room could help him. Like they'll help him out. But other days it's just like, stop throwing to them. Just give the ball to James Conner and let this get over with. And
exactly.
I feel like this is the kind of week where you could have a chance. The Dolphins aren't really bringing too much pressure on the defensive line with Jalen Phillips going down again. The defense obviously has been fine during Tua's absence. They haven't been giving up a lot of points. They're just not scoring. So it's tough. I think the Dolphins probably do win this game. Even if Tua is like kind of reserved a little bit, they're still going to win this game just because I don't trust the Cardinals offense week by week. I'm going to go ahead and give my score prediction. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I'm going to go 24-21 Dolphins.
I think I'm actually going to go with the Cardinals. I think Tua is going to be reserved. And I don't know. I just can't see them firing on all cylinders like first game back with Tua. So I'm going to take the Cardinals 20-17 over the Dolphins, and I think the only way the Dolphins win this game is if they have a rushing attack like they did last week, on top of having Tua come back, where you have 40 carries for 188 yards and like 7 people got involved.
Yeah.
I would like to see that again.
That's fair.
So,
all right, next game, Jets 7-point favorites heading to Foxborough to take on the Patriots. Is it bad that I kind of hate both of these teams right now?
No.
Okay, good. Because like
so.
every single week that I watch this Jets team, I lose more confidence.
Yep.
And the Patriots at least have something to look forward to with Drake May, but that defense is god awful.
Yeah, no, it's wild. What happened to their defense? Was it Judon leaving?
I don't know, because like
I mean, they didn't have him last year and they were good.
Yeah, and they didn't really lose that many players. I know Jarrell Peppers has his legal issues he's dealing with, but there's there's not that much that changed for the Patriots outside the coaching, which could certainly be a possibility. I know Gerard Mayo straight up said like the players were soft last week.
There you go.
Belichick, not a happy guy about that quote coming out. Because a lot of those guys are players that he coached, and he said they weren't soft when I coached.
Womp.
That's kind of interesting. Considering Gerard Mayo was essentially placed in that position by Bill
Belichick coached Gerard Mayo.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's kind of weird for Bill to try and do that, but I think it's probably more that Bill doesn't want Gerard Mayo pointing fingers at anybody but himself. And I think he should be pointing the fingers at himself.
Definitely at himself, but like, I feel like a coach like Gerard Mayo, having spent time with that team, I think he's earned the right to call his players soft if they're being soft. Same kind of deal with Antonio Pierce and Jack Jones.
Yeah.
Same kind of thought process there for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, the Jets are a 7-point favorite because the Patriots cannot stop a single offense on the map. And Drake May is exciting, but it's not the kind of exciting that's going to put up points. It's the kind of exciting where it's like, oh, he could do something here. Problem is, Ramondre Stevenson can't play consistently nor even good.
Antonio Gibson, why did you even pick him up?
Yeah, why is he there? You'd be better off with Zeke right now.
Dude, do you remember when Antonio Gibson was running halfback with J.D. McKissick?
Yeah. Oh my!
Those were the days, dude. They were both so good.
Yeah, like what year was that? Was that? No, that wasn't Wentz.
Pre-COVID.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pre-COVID. Maybe.
That was like Kyle Allen. Commanders.
Was it Kyle?
I'm pretty sure that was like the Kyle Allen year. I don't know. Well, let's not get bogged down in this. Jets Patriots score prediction. What do you got?
I don't know. I like Aaron Rodgers really just shit on these guys the last time they played on Thursday Night Football. I don't know. Maybe the Patriots come back with a better game plan. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. I'm going to take the Jets. I'm going to take the Jets 23, Patriots 14.
Okay. I'm going to go Jets 17, Patriots 10. Kind of a boring game. That's kind of what I see it as. All right, Falcons, 2.5-point favorites on the road in Tampa. Buccaneers without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Both of them going to the IR. That was just a brutal Monday night. And for Chris Godwin to dislocate his ankle and require surgery in garbage time. They were down 17 points when he got hurt. They did not need to keep doing that.
No, not at all. I was super confused by it. Being a fantasy owner of Chris Godwin and being a fantasy owner of Brandon Ayuk in the same league.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I just woke up and all your players are gone. But weird decision. I mean, I get leaving him out there. Y'all were in a rhythm, but like the rhythm didn't matter. He did not need to be out there, and that's kind of. I'm sure he wanted to.
Yeah,
but. No, take him out of the game, man. Especially with Mike Evans already getting hurt in that game, too.
Exactly.
Like, just wild.
Just let Jalen McMillan and Sterling Shepard steer the ship, because that's what's going to have to happen now. Cade Otton's
Sterling Shepard had that 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
dude, Cade Otton was crazy that game.
Animal. I will say I'm
Yeah.
super pissed off about Bucky Irving. If you guys watched the third and long live stream, we did a parlay. Each of us took a pick. My pick was the only one that didn't hit, and I took Bucky Irving over 28.5 rushing yards. He got like 5 carries.
He got 9 for 23 yards.
9 for 23 yards, which like isn't necessarily bad. It was not good, but turns out he had a toe injury. I had no idea.
Oh, wow.
And so, like, I was like, why the fuck are we seeing Sean Tucker running the ball at the end of this game? We got a whole drive of Sean Tucker at one point. I'm like, if Rachaad White is healthy and Bucky Irving's healthy, why are we seeing the third string running back get a whole drive to himself? Well, it's because Bucky Irving was hurt and nobody knew. I don't know if he got hurt during the game or what, but no, I never saw anything about it until the week was over.
Well, what's crazy for Bucky Irving on top of that is he had 54 receiving yards, which is not Bucky Irving at all.
And let me tell you, I was this close to going, oh, let's take his rushing receiving yards. It's 31.5.
Oh, man.
But I was like, oh, he never catches the ball. That's Rachaad White's job. Was I wrong? Yeah. Oh, God.
And Rachaad White did that, too, in this game. Shit.
Yeah, Rachaad White had a pretty good day.
Yeah.
Okay, on the Falcons side, you hope that you can bounce back from the shit show that we saw in Seattle. We've got to put pressure on a quarterback, please.
Hey, Grayson, who am I?
Well, out of context, considering your hand is out of frame, a lot of people could think you're a potential world leader. Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah, thank you, DK Metcalf. That I screamed.
Sorry, that was not a Nazi salute.
No, thank you.
Yeah, please don't cancel me. I was doing my impression of DK Metcalf versus AJ Terrell. I'm sorry.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I was like screaming at the TV when that happened.
So you saw it real time?
Yes. And then I saw it like 800 more times the rest of the day.
I as soon as I saw that on Instagram, I was like, I know who loves AJ Terrell.
Yeah.
Immediately sent it to Grayson.
I was just, oh man, that whole fucking game, I was just like seething. Like I couldn't believe how bad that defense looked and how inept our offense was.
Yeah. Can you give me a breakdown of what happened? Because I was out of town this weekend and I got back on Sunday, and my roommate, who's a Falcons fan, he's like, did you hear about the Seahawks-Falcons game? And me just kind of thinking that the Falcons probably won because they've been hot recently. I was like, no, I didn't hear about it. And then he told me the score and I was like, what the fuck happened? So can you please kind of give me a summary?
Yeah, I'll go quickly because me and Colin talked about it on Monday's episode. But essentially, like, the offense just came out and did nothing. That was kind of it. Like, the offense came out and literally did nothing, and we couldn't pressure Geno Smith whatsoever. DK kind of had his way a little bit. JSN had his way. Tyler Lockett was, like, cutting us up on, like, so many routes. AJ Terrell looked like a bitch. Like, just the same shit, different day with this defense. Like, we can't put pressure on the quarterback, and AJ Terrell cannot handle a physical wide receiver. That's okay. And they just exploited it over and over and over again. We couldn't stop Kenneth Walker. Like, it was bad.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Luckily, the Bucs are bad. The defense looked like garbage. I know everybody talking about the offensive injuries. The defense last week against the Ravens was so bad. Please put the ball in Kirk Cousins' hands and just let him do shit. Like, let him go. Let him free. I get, like, Bijan had a good week last week. But we're not getting anything out of it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And, like, it doesn't help, Younghoe Koo missed a field goal in this game. And just, like, it was just, like, the next thing after the other. And, like, yeah, Kyle Pitts was cool. And Drake scored a touchdown. But it just, I left a lot to be desired out of the passing game this past week. That can't be the case this week. The Buccaneers defense was letting Lamar Jackson throw all over them. We have to do the same thing because we're more than capable of it.
Yeah. I like that in the Buccaneers-Ravens game, Mike Evans was still able to get a touchdown before he got out. He
almost scored a touchdown on the play he got hurt on. Probably should have caught it. Yeah, kind of crazy. He is such an animal, dude. I love Mike Evans.
Me too. I'm going to go ahead and give a score prediction, though. I think it's going to be Atlanta's game. The Buccaneers are rolling into this one, man. Like, but When's the last time we've seen the Buccaneers without both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans? It has to be a while
Yeah.
now, right? Where
Yeah.
they were both hurt at the same time. Obviously, you had Kate Otten go insane, and you and I have harped on Kate Otten since we started the podcast. But is he able to consistently do that week to week?
Yes.
We don't know.
He can at
You
least
think so?
he can at least get receptions. I think the problem is going to come down to the Falcons are getting healthier on defense. Troy Anderson, I think, is coming back this week. Nate Landman's going to be healthy. So the linebacker core is going to look a lot better coming into this game, which really helps us out, at least over the middle. And that's where Kate Otten was most lethal against the Ravens, was in that level. So I think the Falcons have a better chance. And then, of course, not as many targets to be afraid of now on this Buccaneers offense for the Falcons defensive side.
Yeah, for sure. AJ Terrell won't have to worry about Chris Godwin or Mike
Yeah,
Evans. So.
I'm sure he could definitely shut down Jalen McMillan. I know that for sure. I say that Jalen McMillan's probably gonna have a career day, but
I'm gonna go 28-13 Falcons.
Okay, I'm gonna go 21-14 Falcons.
Okay.
All right. Packers 3.5-point favorites on the road versus the Jags. Defense banged up as hell for the Packers. A lot of guys going down last week in a hard-fought win over the Texans. The Jags side, I can't figure out anything with this team. They go like 5 weeks in a row, and they're like the worst team in the NFL, it looks like. Then they finally, they win a game in comeback fashion, technically over the Patriots in London. But I still don't know if that was like the turnaround performance for Jacksonville or just another defensive shit show for New England.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But I don't know if Tank Bigsby, keeps doing what he's doing. This is an option, that Trevor Lawrence has never had.
Agreed.
With this offense, so that definitely I feel like could shake things up for their entire team. But they still have been horrible, and Trevor's proven to have been horrible in some games this year. So I don't know. They're going to be hard to predict moving forward, but I think Tank Bigsby offers a lot that they haven't had in a while.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what helps the Jags a little bit is what you saw the Texans do last week, which was like CJ Stroud was like a non-factor. He had no time in the pocket. Me and Colin talked about it quite a bit on Monday, but he had no time in the pocket in this game against the Packers last week. But Joe Mixon was eating up just like he always does right now. And if Tank Bigsby's able to do that, they might be able to score some points in this game, but they're not going to win.
Yep.
Because the Packers offense can just put up points. It doesn't matter who's on the field. Once again, another thing we talked about on Monday, it doesn't matter whose day it is. It's a different wide receiver's day every single week for the Packers.
Yep.
And the fact that Christian Watson is back healthy, and you have Tucker Kraft at tight end, you're finally getting one tight end to step up and be the guy. You are so lucky. Now, Jordan Love, gotta stop throwing so many picks, dude. It's keeping the other teams in the games with how many picks. I think he's thrown 8 picks. He's only played 5 games.
A lot.
Yeah. You got to slow down on the picks, but he's also like outnumbering his picks with touchdowns like every week. It's absurd, but got to figure that out.
Like Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yeah. Which Josh Allen not throwing picks at all this year. Super weird.
Very strange.
But Jordan Love, he looks great. Maybe one of the best quarterbacks in the league so far this year. Just keeps throwing picks. Packers are still going to win this game, but I think we're going to see similar but not quite as bad picks-wise, at least, to last week, where the Packers will probably end up having this be a close game because they can't really defend the run well. Defensive line's pretty beat up. And then you add on top of that the offense is great. It's just they're kind of fucking up in a couple spots. Score prediction-wise, I'm going to go Packers 28, Jags 17, which I guess isn't close necessarily, but I think it could be for a little bit. And the Packers will turn it up at the end.
I'm going to exactly match you on that score.
28-17. All right. Colts, Texans. Texans just confuse the hell out of me every week. They'll probably win this one. But last week they had a shot, but that offensive line was abysmal. We talked about how CJ Stroud had no time. A lot of it goes on that offensive line. Doesn't help that Laramie Tunsil's beat up. He's still playing, but he is beat up. And they just God, they could not block for shit. They're so lucky they have Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if the Colts are really the personnel to exploit that in this game, though. I
Agreed.
think what we've seen from the Colts is, for one, not a lot of Jonathan Taylor because he's been hurt,
Mhm.
and then Anthony Richardson, who is just really unfortunately just taking steps backwards.
Yes. Yeah.
This year I think, and
I
that's
don't know if he didn't. I
yeah.
don't know if he's necessarily taking a step backwards. I think we got such a small sample size at first. We got another small sample size so far this year. He's just kind of hasn't gotten better.
Yeah.
I think that's where
No, very
I
true.
don't know
Yeah.
if he really took a step back. I just don't think he's really grown all that much, which is not good because he was a player kind of anticipated to grow over time in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of more of I don't know, what would you call
A
that? Like a
project.
yeah,
Yeah.
project is the word I was looking for. Um but then again, going back to the Colts defensive line and their pass rush against this kind of banged up, not very good Texans
Mhm.
offensive line, Latu's been okay this year.
Yeah. And I think people expected that.
And yeah. But what I'm just saying is I think he could have probably maybe a little bit of a better chance to have a better game
Yeah.
this coming week against the Texans. And then yeah, as for the Texans, super bizarre game last week. CJ Stroud just, being under 50% completion, under 100 yards, no picks, no touchdowns. Just, very strange game. And I doubt that Joe Mixon can, top his performance from last week.
Yeah,
So
I don't know
I
if he
don't
can
know.
top
This
it.
one's
I
kind
think
of
he
weird.
could, but he's been matching that performance every week that he's been healthy. He's just doing that every
Yeah.
week, which is crazy. And this is the kind of defense where he probably will be doing stuff like that. I think DeForest Buckner is back and healthy. So Anthony Richardson so CJ Stroud is going to be under some pressure.
Yep.
And I don't know. It just feels like the Texans are rolling right now when they run the ball. It's just the passing game needs to be there to complement it. And I think it will be this week, especially as opposed to what they saw against the Packers last week. On the Colts side, you've got Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson running it. Anthony Richardson, he's going to be moving like a chicken with his head cut off, throwing the ball all over the place. It's not going to end well, if I had to guess for the Colts.
No, not at all. I'm going to take the Texans 28-13.
I'm going to go Texans 28 or 24-10.
All right.
All right,
Great.
next game, Saints Chargers. We got 5 4 p.m. games this week, which is awesome, which means one of them is going to suck and I'll be able to turn it off, which is great. Chargers, 7-point favorites. Saints still without Carr, still without an offensive line. No more Rashid Shaheed this year. Multiple defensive players hurt. This is just a sad team to watch right now. I'm happy
Oh, man.
that they're bad, but
It,
it is a sad team to watch at the moment.
it really is. I mean, first 2 weeks, they're literally the best team in the NFL.
Yeah. But man, do I not want to watch them now.
Yeah, and Bo Nix is over 500. What are the Broncos doing?
Yeah, that game was pretty telling about Spencer Rattler, I would say. He's not it. He's not. At least for now. He's young. He never really had a shot anyways. I didn't think he was good in college. We have had that conversation before. And last week was just like the one be like, okay, yeah, he's what we thought he is. He's relatively inconsistent. He can make a deep pass every now and then. Can't deal with pressure. It's exactly what he was written up to be. Chargers, on the other hand, should have been better, but how the fuck did Justin Herbert decide, okay, I'm just going to turn it the fuck up in the passing game this week with those weapons? Like, why? Will Disley? What? You had no Quentin Johnston last week. Lad McConkey looked like shit, and he still cooked.
Yeah.
It was a damn good day for Justin Herbert. Still didn't win.
I think Joshua Palmer's kind of underrated, though. I feel like he's a lot nastier than people give him credit for.
He definitely had a couple weeks when Keenan and Mike Williams were hurt, which is like every week. He had some moments where he really stepped up.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if you're the Saints, you just have to try to figure out a better way to get Alvin Kamara involved. Because that's kind of your guy. I mean, last week against the Broncos, granted playing against a good defense, but 7 carries for 10 yards, 6 receptions for 14 yards. He had 13 touches and 24 yards.
Yeah. Oh, it was bad.
Got to figure out a better way to get him going.
Yeah, the problem
But yeah,
as well was that half those receptions were Spencer Rattler was getting pressure and he just like tossed it to Kamara like 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He ended up fight back for nothing.
yeah,
So that was kind of he kind of got screwed last week
for sure. But yeah, the Chargers are just weird, man.
They are.
Chargers are
Defense is
super
good.
bizarre.
Defense is looking a lot better.
Defense is pretty good. But yeah, just no targets for Justin Herbert, which I mentioned. I think it may have been last podcast or a couple podcasts ago. It's interesting to see him work without superstars for the first time in his career. He's matured a little bit, probably learned the game a little bit better. And I think for what he has to throw to, it's been a lot better. We've seen a lot of growth out of Quentin Johnston. And yeah, I think Herbert's gotten a hell of a lot better, even though it may not look like it with, team record and maybe even his stats this season as well. But I think he's a better quarterback.
First time this season he's passed for over like 215. He broke 300.
Yeah.
But he hasn't looked inconsistent. Just like you said, he doesn't have the guys there to really have like a big performance every week. But they'll show up. I think the Chargers win this one handedly. The Saints are just so bad. They're pitiful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Chargers 17, Saints 7.
I'm gonna go Chargers 24, Saints 7.
Okay. Bills 3-point favorites on the road in Seattle. This could be a good game if the Seahawks are remotely playing up to expectations, which they don't do very often, but every now and then they can do it. And the Bills, I'm glad that Amari Cooper went out and got his first touchdown, but this offense should have maybe been better early in that game against the Titans.
I don't know. I think that they're still trying to figure out, a lot.
Oh, definitely. Keon Coleman was telling Amari Cooper where to run, and it scored him a touchdown.
Yeah, that was wild. Like, Keon Coleman, you have no business doing that. You one reception and one touchdown bitch. He had a really good game, and I think the reason it took the Bills so long to get going, for one, James Cook's been kind of wavering. He's been a little bit banged up. And then you add Amari Cooper, and like your whole passing dynamic changes. Like Keon Coleman finally getting involved.
Yeah.
Khalil Shakur had a good game for the first time in I feel like a couple weeks. Dalton Kincaid had a good game. So I think for the Bills, it was just a lot of like they added another chef, and it just somehow changed a lot of what was going on in that offense. But second half was very telling that they kind of got it together.
Yeah, they're figuring things out, and I think for the Seahawks, you just got to show some consistency, please. Like if you
they haven't been consistent for the whole time we've been doing this podcast. They've been so weird.
We've been waiting on consistency out of the Seahawks for a long time. It hasn't showed up yet. I think part of the issue is Geno Smith. Obviously, I'm a big Geno Smith hater. Got to double down on that one. But yeah, I think he's part of the problem. I think also the running game is part of the problem. They can't figure it out. Every now and then, Kenneth Walker is the best running back on that team. Don't even try and doubt it. Some weeks he just doesn't play like it. In some weeks, neither of them play like they want to be the best on the running. In
some weeks you get one rush from Kenny McIntosh.
Yeah, exactly. I do love what Mike McDonald is doing with that team. I think he's building something great. I just think that Ryan Grubb has had a bit of an odd transition from college to the NFL as an offensive coordinator. And it's showing a little bit in the way that Seattle struggles to game plan week by week. Because at Washington, bro, he just had the best options available at Washington. He had Michael Penix and three guys that are playing meaningful snaps at wide receiver. Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk, all have been playing on their respective teams in the NFL this season. He had everything he could have asked for at Washington. I think he's just kind of realizing, well, he still kind of does have everything he could have asked for in Seattle, but the defenses are so much different. And you're really game planning. It's a whole different ball game when you're trying to game plan for an NFL defense rather than a fucking Pac-12 defense. It's a big difference.
Huge
So
difference.
I think it's just a big transition thing for him. But Mike McDonald's doing a good job as the head coach, and I just don't think the defense is talented enough. I think they have good players on the defense. I don't know if it's necessarily talented enough to keep up with the Bills.
Is it fair to say that both Devin Weatherspoon and Reek Woolen have both kind of regressed from their rookie seasons, I feel like?
I think Reek had so much attention on him, and then they added more talent around him, and so he hasn't had to play as big of a role. But he also has been hurt like 3 times, whereas his
He
rookie
has been
year
hurt a
he
lot.
wasn't hurt at all.
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
that's part
healthy
of
and
it.
very good.
Yeah.
And just a kind of a side touch about Devin Weatherspoon. I there is not a cornerback in the league that likes to tackle more than him.
Yeah. That's also
I just
because
think that's
he can't break up a pass.
yeah, very true. He's kind of like the Jamal Adams of corners.
Yes. Which is not good because they were teammates.
No.
At one point.
I'm gonna take Buffalo Bills 34-28 over the Seahawks.
I like that score a lot. I'm not gonna go nearly as high, but I like that a lot. I'm gonna go Bills 28, Seahawks 24. Bills barely cover that
Okay.
3-point
Yeah.
spread. Panthers Broncos. Broncos 10-point favorites at Mile High. I'm really starting to like the Broncos, and I think that's dangerous. It's really
Yeah.
dangerous. Last year, I did the same thing. Literally, by this time last year, I was doing the same thing. Literally, week 8, they went on their bye, which was coming off of beating the Packers and Chiefs. And then they continued after their bye, won 3 more straight, which was the Bills, Vikings, and Browns. 4 of those teams made the playoff.
Yeah.
Like,
No more Mr. Unlimited.
yeah. And I think the Broncos are just doing the same thing right now. Luckily, they're facing the Panthers, so I'm going to look pretty smart this week. But I'm scared that I'm buying into the Broncos. And I'm not even necessarily buying into Bo Nix. I like a lot of the stuff they're doing.
I don't know. I feel like this Broncos team is more sustainable than last year's Broncos team.
Definitely. Like the fact that you don't have to rely on a Cortland Sutton touchdown every single week is pretty nice.
Oh, Cortland
I
Sutton,
liked it
man.
last year because I had him in fantasy, and it was just like every week I think during that whole 5-game win streak, he scored a touchdown every game.
Yeah.
It was just
That's pretty good.
It was amazing. And it was almost like we were watching the game the entire time, just waiting for that one touchdown by Cortland Sutton to just tie the knot on like a close victory. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Panthers, they're going to continue to suck. Bryce is back at quarterback because Andy Dalton and his family got into a car accident. Nobody got hurt. It was just precautionary.
Oh, God, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
that came out. I think it happened on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Nobody got hurt. It was just like some really minor car accident. Just I think it was like him, his wife, and their children in the car. Nobody got hurt. Like I said, nothing too crazy. It's just think everybody was probably just a little shaken up. It's a car accident that happens.
Yeah.
But
damn, Bryce Young's going to have to go against the Broncos? Sorry to cut you off. That's just, I don't know how that's going to go.
No, that defense is going to eat his ass up. 100%.
Yeah.
Like they're going to eat him up. Did Bryce Young, did he call in a hit? Did he really want to start that bad?
Oh, man, not the wife and kids.
I don't know, man. Vengeance spares no one.
Yeah.
Okay, look, Bryce Young's going to suck. Pat Surtain, definitely going to intercept one pass, at least.
Definitely.
There's not much else to talk about. The Panthers are so beat up. Injuries, bad. Quarterback play, bad. Andy Dalton's gotten worse and worse as the weeks go on.
I just don't know if I'm confident in saying that the Broncos can score 30 points again.
I don't think
Even
they'll
though
score
it is the
30
Panthers.
points. It's just the Panthers are only going to score like 7, max. And that would involve a really good game out of Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and give my score prediction here. I'm gonna take the Broncos 27-6.
Cool. I think the Broncos are gonna have the same amount of points as Chuba Hubbard has carries. So give me the Broncos 28, Panthers 9.
Oh man, Chuba Hubbard having 28 carries is brutal.
I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And the Panthers are going to be lucky to outscore Bryce Young's interception number. Okay.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Rest in peace, Xavier Legette.
He's not
It
dead.
just like the
Not
all
dead.
no like all
Alive.
of the aura in the meme is just gone because he's on the Panthers.
Yeah, it does suck. It does.
I don't ever hear about him anymore.
He won't sign a second deal with them. Guarantee that.
Nah.
Chiefs 9.5-point favorites against the Raiders. Gardner Minshew back at quarterback. Aiden O'Connell got hurt. Jacoby Myers should be back. Brock Bowers gonna be the best tight end in the league again. Every week he's gonna do it because there's nobody else to throw to.
Yeah,
like Jacoby Myers will be there, but Gardner Minshew's got to just feed Brock Bowers if he wants any points this week.
yeah.
Don't run the ball.
Rest in peace, Jacoby Myers, for losing Devontae Adams, because now
we
he
gotta
just
stop
he
doing
can't do
rest
anything.
in peace.
Why?
We gotta find something else.
Dude, if people think I'm spreading information or misinformation, they're just ignorant.
That's fair, but
Kind of like me using the rest in peace term.
Yeah. I think you're maybe more oblivious than ignorant when just constantly saying rest in peace about players, and then we have to be like they're not dead.
I'm just gonna come flat out and say it, and I just kind of want you to riff off of it. The Raiders are gonna win this game.
No, wrong. That's how I'll riff off of your statement here. D-Hop now a Chief. He will be playing. Andy Reid was asked if he would play. He said, "Why wait?" And I agree. You need all the help you can get right now with these injuries to your wide receiver room. Anything but getting Kadarius Toney back on this team is what they needed, and that's what they did. They went out and they got D-Hop for practically nothing.
They're somehow getting a serviceable version of Kareem Hunt.
yeah, Kareem Hunt looks good
wild
while Pacheco's still out. Hopefully, D-Hop demands enough attention to just unlock Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
I think everybody would be happier with the Chiefs' performances if Travis Kelce was the part that was doing it. Like, if Travis Kelce was the part of this team that was, like, bringing them life, everybody would be like, oh, yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah.
But he's not. And so everybody's just like, oh, like, Patrick Mahomes has been pretty bad. He's an MVP candidate somehow. He's been bad. Like, really bad, actually.
Yeah. Definitely.
And Travis Kelce hasn't been good, but they're winning games. They're the only undefeated team in the league right now.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit on it last season, but they're a defense team now.
They are.
They just are.
They are. Yeah, they are. They're all about defense. It doesn't help. Matt Nagy, I think, is just an idiot as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I don't get it either. And then, the Raiders, like, there's a huge problem when Alexander Madison ends up being better than Zamir White. There's also another huge problem when you bench Gardner Minshew. No, good game last week, but he's not good. You bench Gardner Minshew, and then he's starting again. The Raiders, they've got nothing figured out except for Brock Bowers, and I think their defense has improved a lot this year. They've made a lot of, like,
Max Crosby's healthy again. Fully healthy.
Robert Spillane looks great.
He does.
He is so good at middle linebacker. I was kidding earlier. I don't think the Raiders are going to beat the Chiefs. I do think this is going to be a close game again, though, for the Chiefs.
Okay.
I do think that. Yeah.
What's your score prediction?
I'm praying for a DeAndre Hopkins legacy game. I want to see 2017 D-Hop. I'm going to go Chiefs 21, Raiders 17.
Okay. Pretty close.
Yep.
I'm going to go Chiefs 24, Raiders 10. I've got a lot of blowouts this week, I guess. Like 2 touchdown games, it feels like. I don't know. Just how I'm feeling this week. Bears, 3-point favorites on the road versus the Commanders. Hopefully, Jaden Daniels is going. Didn't practice today, which is not a good sign. I'm not happy about it. I'm probably going to bench him in fantasy regardless because he's playing the Bears. But hoping that Jaden Daniels is 100% for this game because they will have a chance if that's the case. Marcus Mariota looked good last week. It was also against the Panthers. And, like, even with Jaden Daniels, the Bears' defense might still just be really good in this game, and the Bears will just kind of cakewalk this through the defense like they have every week this year.
Yeah, which, I don't think we could have said the first like maybe 3 weeks of this season, but when you start having Caleb Williams show up,
Yeah.
it now you're starting to look a little bit dangerous.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
and
lie.
they're coming off of a bye after a game where he looked really good. They got, extra
Yeah,
rest coming back from London with the bye week, kind of the perfect storm heading into a Commanders game where your defense obviously needs a break. They've been put through the gauntlet to start the year, just constantly
yes.
being forced onto the field over and over again. They kind of get to relax in the London game. Then they get the bye week. Now they have to go up against the Commanders. If they don't have to face Jane Daniels, I'm sure they'll feel a little bit of a weight off their shoulders. If they do have to face Jane Daniels, even if he's not necessarily 100%, he's going to be a problem. And Brian Robinson Jr. could be a problem coming back into this lineup fully healthy finally this week. And
Wait,
what?
Brian Robinson Jr. Oh, sorry, the running back.
Yes.
I got confused with Brian Thomas.
Gotcha.
My bad.
Yeah, Brian Robinson is also junior, I believe. I could be wrong. He might. Yeah, I think he's
He
junior.
is. He is.
I don't know. But yeah, Brian Robinson will be back. Austin Eckler's kind of turning things up a little bit, showing off a little bit. I'll give him his. I'll give him a little bit of love. Defensively, God, this Commanders team is awful. They are so bad. I know they only gave up 7 points or whatever to the Panthers, but once again, it's the Panthers. His defense is awful. Outside of Jonathan Allen, there's not much to look for.
Yeah, and I hate it too because, and maybe you were too, but I don't think you were as much as I was. High on Emmanuel Forbes Jr.
No.
You are a bust.
He's ass.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, and then Bobby Wagner's out there just trying to do it all. Can't.
No.
Obviously,
just can't keep up.
Yeah,
can't do anything.
No, you can't keep up at all. And then, going back to the Bears, it's just so nice to, see all these pieces coming together. They're such a fun team. Shout out to the Bears. I just wish that Caleb Williams was just a tad bit of a better guy. I don't think he's that really good of a guy.
I don't know. I think he's fine.
There was one game this season. Did the Bears play the Texans this year? I think they did.
Yeah, they did. It was like week 2, I think.
Yeah, did you see the CJ Stroud interaction?
No.
It was like after the game, CJ Stroud was like trying to talk to Caleb Williams, and like Caleb Williams, all he wanted to do was shake his hand, walk away. And like CJ Stroud was even like grabbing onto his jersey, like, "Hey man, like why are you trying to walk away from me? Like I'm trying to talk to you."
Get his ass kicked.
Fuck that. Nah.
No, I agree. You should sit there and talk to him, but also he just got his ass kicked, so he probably did want to get off the field.
Dude, you're a rookie. Nothing matters.
Well, no, it does. It's very important, actually. Ask CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Do they think year one matters?
Yeah. they might have different opinions.
They're in two different spots, but year one certainly mattered for both of them.
What's our
shout
score
out
prediction? DeAndre Swift?
Yeah, DeAndre Swift's pretty good. Pretty good running back.
This is going to be a tough game because, like, what if the Commanders just get stuffed by this defense? Like, is there?
What if they don't? What if Jaden Daniels is the key?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Bears are just a little bit more complete.
Agreed.
But Jaden Daniels is a winner. Winner chicken dinner if he's playing. Are we score predicting?
We can go conditional.
Score predicting.
We can go conditional.
Okay. If Jaden Daniels plays, this is a vibe pick. 41-38 Bears. Give it to me.
Love it.
If Jaden Daniels is not playing, if Jaden Daniels is not playing, vibe pick, man, vibe pick. Don't.
All right. Vibes, dude. I'm not gonna shut down the vibes. I'm not.
No. Don't be the vibe police. If Jaden Daniels doesn't play, Bears 28, Commanders 17.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say if Jaden Daniels does play, give me. I hate to do that. Give me the Bears 27-24. If Jaden Daniels doesn't play, give me the Bears. Oddly enough, I'm going to go lower scoring, 24-13. I think that Bears defense will just really turn it up if Jaden Daniels isn't playing on the other side of the ball.
So we both went Chicago for conditional and
Yes.
for our conditional picks.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
The defense is so
Sick.
good, man. It doesn't matter who they're playing.
And
It's
Caleb
kind of
looks good
odd.
too.
All right, Cowboys 49ers Sunday Night Football. 49ers are 4-point favorite. The 3-4 49ers. I did not think that this game, like coming into this game, you never would have thought I don't want to watch this game, but it does kind of suck. It does.
Oh,
I don't want to watch the Cowboys right now. At all.
No, and I'll just go ahead and say it. I don't think the Cowboys can beat a competent team, and I would still consider the 49ers to be a competent football team.
They're competent, but God, are they missing health? If their team was healthy and they're just missing McCaffrey. Let's be honest, they're missing McCaffrey because there was weeks where they were healthy. There was weeks where they had Jordan Mason and Kittle and Purdy and Ayuk and Samuel. They were all on the field, and it still didn't work. They're missing McCaffrey, and the defense is just fine. It's not great. It's just fine. And Javon Hargrave has been hurt, I think, the last 2 weeks. But still, they're just not as fun as I thought they'd be. Hufanga's back on the IR. Just not quite going how I anticipated.
Yeah, I think I will say though, I think Fred Warner is probably having one of his best seasons in the NFL.
Kind of has to. Nobody else stepping up. No Greenlaw next to him still.
Yeah, and he is kind of the Mr. Do it all guy. Yeah. So I mean, it works out for them in that way. And then on the Cowboys side, like I don't even.
They can't
know,
do anything
Grayson.
right. They can't.
No, I don't even know.
Should they draft?
Yeah, defensively.
I know they just paid Dak Prescott an ungodly amount of money, so I'm sure Jerry Jones will just draft an offensive lineman because that's the cop-out move.
Yeah,
or like
maybe build a time machine and sign Derrick Henry. Probably what I would do.
That's a good idea. Yeah, no, they actually no. They're going to draft Ashton Jinty in the first round.
Oh my God, dude!
He'll be subjected to that dog shit team for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
he's from I think Frisco. So maybe he would want to play there.
Yeah, who knows? Dang, like Cowboys 49ers, we barely have anything to talk about. It's crazy.
They both suck. That's what there is to talk about. I guess I'm going to take the 49ers because I hate the Cowboys and I hate how they look right now. So, I'm going to go with the Niners. 21-14.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Actually, I'll match you on that.
21-13. Brandon Aubrey will kick some field goals.
I'm going to stick with the 14.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Giants Steelers Monday Night Football. How about Russie? What are we thinking?
Hang on. Let me get to the game and ESPN, and I'll tell you exactly how I think. Sorry.
I like it. That's what I'll say right now. I like it. I like Russie. It was good.
No way you just said that.
I did.
Yeah. Wow.
I like Russie.
Okay. I didn't surprise that. Or I didn't surprise
nice.
That. Damn.
Mike Tomlin made the right decision.
That surprised me.
Is that crazy
that you said that?
Right
now? No. Mike Tomlin's a great head coach.
It's the right decision. It's a ballsy move, but he made the right decision. Yeah.
That's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin, you can talk your shit. Everybody in the city, including me, I'm not in the city of Pittsburgh.
Outside of the city.
Blasted you. Absolutely blasted you.
Yeah.
And talk your shit. Exactly. Talk your shit. Honestly. I respect the hell out of Mike Tomlin. And I think, as much of a Steelers fan as I am, I will say I've earned the right to criticize my football team, as we all have. Yeah. But you know what? Like, fair play, Mike Tomlin. I was wrong, and you were right.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me want to go back to something. I texted you this in the fantasy group chat, and you never responded to me. I was trying to incite some violence in between us. George Pickens is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL.
Shut up, bro.
Yeah, I'm not.
He's a top 10 athletic wide receiver, or maybe even a top 10 athlete at the position. He's not. There's so many things he doesn't do that other guys do at that same level. or they do other things better and they still do what he can do. That's my issue with Pickens. Now,
I don't know.
He hasn't. It's not like he has these star quarterbacks throwing at him, but it just seems like there's so many other factors with George Pickens that makes me not think. Like, yeah, you could feel free to try and compare him with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown is better. Try and tell me otherwise. I don't care. Is George Pickens more talented? Sure. Is he more athletic? 100%. I can't say that I would want Pickens over Amon-Ra St. Brown, especially because they're like the same age. Like, there's just no part of that conversation that I'm willing to have. George Pickens is just not a better wide receiver all around, as, you know, whatever you want to categorize playing that position as, he's just not better.
I think he is.
Sure. And
I truly think he is.
That. And I think Drake London is a top 10 receiver in the league. And I'm probably stupid for that.
I don't know. I think George Pickens is better than Drake London, but I think they're both top 10.
Yeah, we're not doing it today, but I would love to see your top 10 list.
I'll make a top 10 next podcast. We'll have like a little segment.
Okay, we'll throw it into questions time. But we'll both do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we think
anyway,
of this
back
game?
to
The
this
Giants
game.
fucking stink. They stink.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can kind of make this pretty simple. There's no way Daniel Jones is going to be able to beat the Steelers defense, right?
No, he couldn't even beat the
Eagles.
Eagles.
I mean, there's just no way. And, you know, don't get me wrong, you and I, you know, Tyrone Tracy Jr., he's pretty attractive when he's running the football.
Not last week.
Not last week. I don't think he's going to do very well against the Steelers defense either. I just think the whole team's going to get shut down. And on top of that, the Steelers offense is looking great, you know, coming off of the Raiders, coming off of the Jets. I'm going to go ahead and give a score prediction if you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to take the Steelers 28-10 over New York.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's like one person on this Giants team that could potentially have a good game on the offense, and it's probably like Wan'Dale Robinson. Because he's going to get like 10 targets or like 15 targets because Neighbors is going to be in a heated battle with Joey Porter Jr. all 4 quarters. That's how that game's going to go. And sure, Malik Neighbors might have a good game. He might not. But Wan'Dale Robinson is just like walking into a position where it's like all the attention's on Neighbors. Obviously, there will be some attention on Wan'Dale, but he's been good enough to at least get receptions.
For sure.
He is the only one that could potentially have a good game on this offense. Obviously, I'm going with the Steelers. I don't know if I'm going to be as high on their offense. I know the Giants' defense is bad, but I'm not necessarily like going to say they're going to start scoring a shitload of points now, but they will win handedly. I'm going to go Steelers 24, Giants, let's go 13.
I like it. Actually, and I also 10. Wanted to shout out
Giants
Najee Harris.
24-10.
Giants 10. Yeah.
Shout out Najee Harris. He is playing very well.
Yeah, he looks just big and physical.
Yeah.
Or sorry, that was kind of the same thing there. Physical and fast is what I meant to say.
Yeah, that makes sense. No bye weeks this week.
Weird.
Very weird. That's why we just spent an hour and like 10 minutes doing this.
Yeah. Do you care? Can we take like a quick break after this segment?
Oh, for sure.
Just one quick break.
Yeah, okay. When we come back, World Series preview. All right, we're back. World Series preview.
Get into it.
Yeah, we got obviously, I'm sure you know, Yankees Dodgers in the World Series. If you like Moneyball,
here we go.
If you think that the MLB should have a salary cap, if you hate capitalism, if you are a fan of any market that's not the top 2 markets in sports, go fuck yourself. That's what this World Series is. All of us that care about anything that there is to love about sports are shattered by this outcome.
No, you're taking so much away from this World Series.
It's great. They're talented teams, but it is just the epitome of pay to win.
But it's also like you got to think like the markets that are going to be in the World Series, LA and New York. This is such a big deal.
Yeah,
this is a massive World Series.
Worst fucking markets. I hate the people that come out of it. Like I hate every single writer that has ever written a story about a Dodgers or Yankees team.
Oh no, we're good people, man.
Like
Come
the
on, it's
fact
been
that
15 years.
you don't understand what I've had to put up with the Dodgers media for
Yeah,
years now.
you've instilled it in me that they suck, and
They're
they
the
do
worst.
suck.
And the New York media is just as bad. And that bothers the shit out of me. And then you throw in the factor of like these being what, two of the top 3 or 4 payrolls in the MLB. They were the number 1 teams in both leagues this year. Like there's no parity. we're so like maybe I'm just too used to it, but like I'm so drained by this playoff ending up here. There's supposed to be surprise in the postseason. Yeah, the Mets were surprising, and they still got shut down. And, you know, the Guardians were a surprise team all year, and they got shut down. And it's like, even just like the smallest shred of hope taken right from us, which sucks.
There's still stories though. Like you have the
course.
Braves, creeping in. The Padres looked amazing. They were so entertaining in the postseason, whether they were winning or losing. And then on the other side, you have the Guardians, who their new manager comes in and takes them to the ALCS.
Of course. No, I think there was playoff storylines that were had, and then we get to this culmination, and there is nothing. There's nothing
except for a lot of fun.
Obviously, there's history to be made. Obviously, the Yankees haven't been here in a long time is a big talking point. The Dodgers, obviously, you add Shohei Ohtani, he's not even pitching, and it gets you to this point. There is storylines, but it pales in comparison to what we saw last year, storylines wise. We had Diamondbacks Rangers last year, both of them making these unbelievably improbable runs to the playoffs. Like the Diamondbacks wouldn't have made the playoffs last year if Seiya Suzuki didn't drop a pop-up against the Braves. That was the one thing that could have changed the entire outcome of last year's playoffs. And then like that Rangers team had essentially been put together that year and won a World Series.
Lost to Grom early on too, that season.
And the pitching that stepped up, and Jordan Montgomery, and blah blah blah, like down the list over and over again. Different things happen. The Yankees have been the Yankees all year. The Dodgers have been the Dodgers essentially all year. Obviously, like we had teams that looked really good ahead of them, but they both still end up being the number 1 teams. And yeah, I think for the Yankees, it's a little more impressive than the Dodgers just because of history, or recent history at least. I don't know. I obviously it's going to be entertaining because it's 2 of the most talented teams in the MLB, but it's not entertaining from the storyline standpoint.
Yeah, that's fair. But I wanna get into kind of more of the game, and I just kind of wanted to briefly talk about what I think the keys for the Yankees are, and why I'm a little bit worried.
Actually, before you start, can I run through the schedule real quick?
Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
Cool. Okay, Game 1 and Game 2, Friday, Saturday in LA. Game 1, likely getting Garrett Cole versus Jack Flaherty. Game 2, we don't know who we're going to see for the Yankees. Probably Rodon. Seems to be the way that rotation has gone.
Yeah.
But we probably will get Yamamoto for the Dodgers. Don't know any probable starters after that. Game 3, 4, and 5, Monday through Wednesday in New York. If we need to come back to LA for Game 6, that will be Friday, and then Game 7 Saturday. So I must commend the MLB for this. They scheduled it perfectly for our podcast. Because the games start up tonight as you guys are listening to this. So we got no games that we really had to tie any loose ends on because everything ended on Sunday. And then we get here. No games have happened. We get to preview a game that hasn't happened yet and won't happen by the time that people listen to this. Then no game on Sunday. So me and Colin get to talk about Friday and Saturday's games and then preview Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No game Thursday. Yep. So me and you get to talk about what happened earlier in the week, potentially the World Series winner. And then if we need to, preview Friday and Saturday. It worked perfectly. Shout out the MLB for that.
Second and short, the MLB has been working with second and short all season long, and we just want to give a shout out to them for doing that for us because we are kind of their main content.
Yeah, exactly. They've been bankrolling us all year, and nobody even knew it. I didn't even know it until right now.
Yeah. Sorry, I just informed
all the money.
Yeah.
Embezzled every cent that second and short doesn't have.
Look, Grayson, this is what worries me. All right. And
Okay.
I need you to kind of respond, maybe even ease my anxiety a little bit. Who
I will.
knows? But
I assure you.
okay. Well, the Yankees, and I've said this throughout the postseason, have not had their offense game yet that we know that they can have.
True.
We've been clutch, but we have not dominated like I feel like we should, be able to. And yeah, it is the postseason. We're playing better competition, but that still doesn't take away what our lineup is. Like, and not only the stars that are loaded, and even guys like Gleyber Torres stepping up, but like, I feel like the righty lefty should just be so much more lethal than it actually is. Aaron Judge, he's been okay, but he hasn't been nearly what we need him to be. And on top of that, like, I feel like it's going to come down to our pitching, but I don't know if our pitching is going to be able to really last against an offense like this. I think that it's really underratedly good that the Yankees found that they can use Tommy Kahnle as a closer when Luke Weaver might be tired. I feel like that's pretty important, especially going up against an offense like LA. But, I'm just worried that our offensive firepower just is going to continue not to show up. And the Dodgers are just going to be able to overpower that. I'm super anxious about this World Series, man. I don't want to lose, bro. I do not want to lose.
I hate to do this to you. You're anxious, and rightfully so. That's the thing.
You think I brought good points pretty much there as to why we would lose? So.
Right. and it's kind of, it sucks for you, obviously. And I think the Yankees, I told you this, the Yankees have had the easiest route to the World Series that they possibly could have run into. They get the first round bye. They come up against.
Say it was the easiest in 20 years.
It is. It's such an easy route, and
yeah,
you get a Royals team that was. It seemed like that Royals offense was trying to lose to the Orioles, and the Orioles just couldn't let that happen. What, they shut them out in both games, or I think it was like 2-0 or 1-0, and then 2-1 second game. Like, it was the easiest series the Royals have ever won. They get out of that. They go up against the Yankees. And it's just, what the fuck? Like, what? Duh. And then the Yankees get the Guardians, and the Guardians just happen to have fucking fallen apart entirely. By the time that season starts, that series starts, then they show a little shred of confidence here and there, and they win a game. But the Yankees offense didn't have to totally be on the same page every game, whereas the Dodgers, they played a Padres team that was one of the best teams in the second half of the season, one of the best teams in the league in general, and also somebody that they matched up with a shitload because they're division rivals. They show up, they beat them, they take care of business, they hold them scoreless for, 27 straight innings to end that series, or 28 straight innings, something like that. Not that high, I think it was 25, whatever. And then they go into this Mets series, and the Mets are the hot topic, blah, blah, blah. Dodgers start off, they shut them out. Dodgers are making this historic run against two teams that made historic second halves in baseball. Like, the Mets' second half was some unprecedented shit that they pulled off. And
yeah,
they roll
shout out
in.
Grimace.
Yeah, shout out Grimace. Shout out the Hawk Tua first pitch. Shout out OMG by, what's his name? Jose Iglesias, the shortstop? No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out OMG. And then the Mets kept trying to fight, man. They did. They got them all the way to Game 6, and they kept putting up runs.
Yep.
That is the thing that I think the Yankees can look to, is that after that scoreless streak ended, after Game 1, then you start looking at Game 2 and all the ensuing games, and you think, okay, well, this Dodgers pitching rotation will give up runs. They will. Yeah. That's where the Yankees' benefit comes. I just think that the Dodgers have shown it off against two of the hardest teams they could have faced, whereas the Yankees just haven't been put to the test fully yet.
Yeah, and I think the superpower that the Yankees have working with them right now is once that game comes back to New York and it's a little bit chilly, the turtlenecks are going to come back. And oh boy, do we know about those turtlenecks in New York.
Unfortunately, you can't win a series only winning 3 games, so they'll have to win one on the road.
Which I think is doable. We're a good team. We're still a good team.
That is fair.
So,
let's talk series predictions. I Okay, I want to hear your game count first. I obviously know you want the Yankees to win, and you think they'll win. What is your game count for the series?
7.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna match A-Rod. I'm gonna take the Yankees in 7.
Okay.
Same prediction as
Do you think
him.
they'll sweep at home, or do you think they'll grab 2 in LA?
Um, damn.
Obviously, I guess they could also get 3 in LA and 1 at home, but that's unlikely.
Yeah, I think we get. Huh. I think we'll sweep at home.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Sweep at home.
Unfortunately, I'm rooting for the Dodgers. I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm sorry.
You hate the Dodgers.
I hate the
Grayson.
Dodgers. I hate the Yankees
There's no
too.
way you hate the Yankees more than the Dodgers, though.
I don't, but there are more reasons for me to root for the Dodgers than the Yankees.
Okay. Name me 2 reasons.
I will never stop rooting for Freddie Freeman. I don't care if he left us. Never going to stop rooting for Freddie Freeman. And Shohei Ohtani is so much fun. How can I ever root against Shohei Ohtani? He's the most likable athlete out there.
I mean, he doesn't even do anything, though.
Yeah? Nothing? He had a better season than Aaron Judge, and he's just playing DH.
Outside of baseball, he doesn't do anything, is what I'm saying. He's just kind of
perfect. Why do you think everybody loves Mike Trout?
Aaron Judge was on Paw Patrol. Okay,
and see what that did to your team for like 2 weeks. No, it was like a month.
That was a rough 2 weeks.
Yeah, no. The thing is with Shohei Ohtani is there is nothing to talk about outside of baseball, and I love that. It was the same reason why Freddie Freeman was such like the guy in Atlanta, because there was nothing else to talk about.
Yeah,
but he was so good at baseball that's all there was. That was the conversation, and that's the conversation around him. And the same goes for Mookie Betts, who I think is an extremely likable player.
Yeah, Mookie's okay.
Yeah, obviously you should not like Mookie.
I don't.
Red Sox, Red Sox, and then now a Dodger. But I like Mookie Betts. I think he's really fun. So like
his podcast's pretty cool.
Yeah, his podcast's great. So like those are the guys I'm rooting for. And like, yeah, I know Glasnow's hurt. It'd be cool to see him get a ring. Clayton Kershaw is one of my favorite players of this generation, at least pitching wise. It'd be cool to see him get a second ring, even though he's hurt as well. And the first ring was Mickey Mouse. So I'm only rooting for the Dodgers because of players. I hate the organization. I hate LA, but the players there are ones that I'm willing to root for more than the Yankees.
So are we flying up to New York for Game 3?
No, fuck no.
Film some content? No? No. You don't want to do that with me, dude?
I don't. I don't want to spend a second near New York City during this time, nor LA.
Dude, you wouldn't want to go to a Yankee game as a baseball fan.
I'll go. I'm not paying. Certainly not a World Series game.
That is true. It would be expensive.
It's like $11,000 to get in the door.
Really?
No, it's not that much. It's like $1,000.
Oh, that's much better.
Okay, but $11,000 for seats where like you could at least see the player's face.
Yeah.
Okay, my games. I think Dodgers in 5. I hate to do that to you, but Dodgers in 5. I think it's just the way that the matchup works for them. They don't have to come back to LA. They've been pretty good on the road. So yeah, I think they go up 2 games to start.
Okay.
You guys win the first game in New York, and then Dodgers take the next 2.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I hate to do it. It's just how I'm feeling right now with the Dodgers. They just
all I'm gonna say. If we lose this World Series and do not re-sign Juan Soto, I probably am not going to watch another inning of baseball ever again.
You can't do that.
It'll take me years to recover.
Yeah, surely there's a player that'll be a free agent you guys could pick up.
Not Juan though.
Still waiting on a third baseman. Juan. That one still hasn't happened, right?
Jazz Chisholm's great.
Oh, is he playing third? That much?
Yeah, he has been.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
All
Glaber's
right.
still out in second base because second base is his. Do not take that away from him.
Yeah, whatever.
God forbid.
Fucking idiot. I hate
uh,
Glaber Torres. Glaber Torres is like, oh, I was thinking about this the other day. I can't think of who it is. Oh, Glaber Torres is like Eric Ten Hag right now.
oh yeah,
He does
just
something
doing.
right just in time
Yeah,
to stay around. Um,
yeah.
we'll be talking about him as well later. Actually, very soon. We're gonna wrap this up. So I've got Dodgers in 5. You've got Yankees in 7. Um, MVP predictions, and then we'll move on.
Hmm. Um, it's either going to be probably Juan Soto or I feel like the Yankees. It could only be one guy.
Are you sure?
Because from what I've seen, I don't know if Aaron Judge is going to be able to unlock himself or
I
not.
have
I
a
just don't. But Juan
fantastic
Soto, I
sleeper.
do know.
Fantastic sleeper for you guys if you win, especially in 7.
Uh,
I have a great one.
well, I'm curious to see who it is. I kind of want to try to guess though. Who you're thinking of? Is he like
Oh,
is he someone that's regularly played in the postseason?
yeah, he plays pretty regularly.
Is it Luke Weaver?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he would be a great candidate for it. Because if you guys go 7, you're probably going to win some close games. Just with
he's going
how
to be
this
in a
Dodgers
lot.
team has been, he's going to be in probably 4 times.
Yeah,
That's a big deal.
it is a big deal. Yeah, you're exactly right.
So I like Luke Weaver as a potential one if the Yankees win. I think the cop-out obvious pick is Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers, but I think what would make it more epic is if he does end up coming into pitch. That would seal the deal. If Shohei Ohtani shows up to pitch, you guys are fucked.
Oh, dude, Game 7, Aaron Judge versus Ohtani, walk-off home run. Give it to me.
Yeah, all right. Uh,
I would. That'd be perfect.
yeah, I think Shohei and then sleeper on the Dodgers side. I love to go with a pitcher. It's very fun. Like Flaherty could come out and have 2 great outings and win it.
Yeah. What about Kike? Kike's been pretty good in this
DK
postseason.
has been good. I'm going to go Tommy Edman, though. He was the NLCS MVP. If he keeps
Yeah.
rolling like he is, he's in a great spot to just get RBIs, which is huge. That's what he did. He hit 1 homer. I think he had 11 RBIs.
Oof. Yeah.
So I like Tommy Edman a lot because like it's either going to be the best player on the team or some guy you don't really think about. That's how that goes in the postseason. Like with the Braves run, it was Eddie Rosario and Jorge Soler were the guys that stepped up and won their respective series
shit, dude.
MVPs.
Do you remember for the D-backs, it looked like it was going to be I can't blank on his first name, but Merrill, their pitcher.
Oh,
he was killing it last season.
No, not Jackson. Merrill Kelly. So
Merrill Kelly,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, and then the Rangers won. So of course it went to Corey Seager.
Yeah. Rip.
All right. That's the World Series preview. We will you'll have to tune in on Monday's episode to hear what happened in game 1 and game 2 and what me and Colin think will happen for the rest of the series. I'll get his prediction, but obviously with prior knowledge of what happened in the first 2 games. All right.
Yeah.
Let's switch it up here. Quite a big switch, I will say, to the Premier League. This season, I'm going to say it hasn't been captivating. Is that fair? Like, I think it's been entertaining, and there's fun teams to watch, but it hasn't, like, really pulled me in yet. I think it can, just hasn't yet.
That's fair. I think
Newcastle's kind of a weird spot as well. That's part of it.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a relatively close season. Like the competition gap is definitely slimmed in the Premier League, even more so than last season when I thought that there was way less of a competition gap. But yeah, the season's been fun.
Yeah, and then like of course Arsenal getting their first loss certainly mixes things up. Which happened last week, and then you have a huge matchup between Arsenal and Liverpool, which could potentially be Liverpool's second loss. There's really no telling how these matches will go, but we'll start with Chelsea versus Newcastle, our 2 teams going head to head. Where are you at right now with Chelsea? I know it kind of ever changing, but you're coming off the loss to Liverpool.
Yeah, and before that brutal 1-1 draw against 10-man Nottingham Forest. Yeah, I don't really know how to feel. If I'm being honest, I haven't seen a single highlight from that Liverpool game. I have no idea exactly how we lost.
Yeah.
But what I do like is I saw this Instagram post today, and it was just kind of showing like the players' reactions to losing to Liverpool, and they were super upset. And it's
Good.
only the beginning of the season, but that's something that we haven't seen from Chelsea players in a while. Is just like showing just a lot of emotion towards the badge and getting results for the badge. So there definitely has been a change in culture. Um, However, like the game plan or the gameplay is it can still, I don't know, be hit or miss.
Yeah.
First game with Reece James back. That was exciting. Not too sure why Romeo Lavia is starting over Enzo Fernandez when you look at our games without Enzo Fernandez compared to games with, we're usually winning if Enzo plays.
Hmm.
So I thought that was kind of bizarre. I don't know if he was hurt or banged up or whatever it may have been. Um, and as far as Newcastle, I feel like they're still trying to find their identity since kind of that weird season they had last year.
Yeah.
I feel like they're still kind of scrambling, which is I'm sure not been really that fun for you.
No.
But I don't know. What's your take on Newcastle?
Yeah, with Newcastle, it's really just like we are on the shittiest form we could possibly be on right now. And it doesn't look like it's getting better. They're not trending in the right direction. You have the loss to Fulham, which should have been a little more eye opening than I think it was. You draw 2 times in a row. One of those in Man City, which is cool, but then 0-0 with Everton, and then you go out and you lose last week to Brighton, which was a good defensive performance. The fact that you hold Brighton to a 1-0 victory is pretty impressive because they've been a hell of an offense this year. It's just they still aren't doing it. Like they're still not putting together complete performances, and it's so hard to root for when there's nothing happening that's special. And I think that's what I talked about in the offseason and nearing the end of last season was that Eddie Howe doesn't really do a lot of things special. And I think that's the issue I see right now. And it doesn't help that my fucking Twitter notifications are just blowing up all day with like, if they're not competing for a Champions League spot this year, Alexander Isaac's not going to renew his contract and they're going to seek a transfer. That doesn't help. And then, like, I love what's happening right now. Lewis Hall and Livramento being in the lineup. Obviously with Botman out, you end up sliding Dan Burn to center back, which I think is where he should be playing. It's just I know he's not as good of a defender at center back, but he's just not fast enough for the wing or for fullback, especially with how fast the wingers are in the Premier League. He has no chance over there. I just this midfield should be better than it is. They're playing fine. They're not creating anything up front, which I think is the problem. Joelinton, Guimaraes, Tonali should all be playing as well as they are, but they should be doing more offensively to at least set things up. I think the contribution's been fine, and you could also throw some of the finishing on Isaac, who has not been finishing well whatsoever. But like
Yeah,
AG,
big down year for him.
Yeah, AG looks fine, but he's not finishing either. They try to put him at striker in some of these games. It's just not working. So yeah, Newcastle's just, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head saying they just haven't quite found their identity yet. It's getting too late to find your identity.
Yeah.
If you want to contend
I'm
for
thinking,
a Champions League spot at least.
Yeah, I'm thinking definitely a manager change soon, probably
Yes.
for Newcastle. What do you think?
If we don't make Europe this year, gotta sack Howe.
Well, dude, I remember being so excited for you and honestly for Newcastle as a team when they were in the Champions League. Like,
yeah, and we got
it seems
screwed.
like we are,
yeah,
kind of screwed. But like, would you not agree that like, even though that was such a short time ago, it feels like that was forever ago?
I think the
when
problem
Newcastle
is that,
was
like,
in the Champions League,
the whole world just came crumbling down when Tonali got suspended because he was like the biggest signing that Newcastle has ever made. He looked so good to start the season.
Yeah.
And then it all came crashing down. And then the injuries start piling up again, just like they did in the season that they got to the Champions League. They were still hurt. And then it just kept happening. And then Pope goes out for most of the year. By Christmas, he's out for the rest of the season. And like, it just, everything piled on top of each other. Botman goes down, and it just wouldn't stop. And I think it just slowed the momentum, and I think it totally changed the way that anybody, like, how you view this team, because injuries happen, but last year they could not deal with them, and they're doing it again.
No. Yeah, and it just kind of makes you wonder, like, who made the decision not to bring in depth? Because I feel like that would have been the obvious thing.
Especially at
You don't
center
even have
back.
to. Yeah, like you don't even have to, after getting Tonali, go out and get like another superstar. Although that would be
No.
nice, but like just build the depth, man. But I don't know. I'm ready to give a score prediction. I'm going to take Chelsea 2-1 over Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go Chelsea just because they're scoring goals, man. Like they've got double our goals scored across the
Oh
last five
wow.
matches. Double. Um, like you guys have outscored, like, in your last 5 matches in the Prem, you've scored 10 goals. I think, could be wrong on that. Let me actually double check that stat because I might have been looking at the wrong game. um, I know you guys have been not as good
I
as
got
of
it.
recent.
I
Do
got
you
it
have
for
it?
you here.
Okay. Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, you want last 5 Prim games?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have you add it up. 1-1, 4,
Yeah, I've got it. I've got it. You
3,
guys have scored
1.
14 goals in your last 5 matches. We've scored 3 in our last 5 matches.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
even worse than I
unbelievable.
thought. Um, and I will say, you guys haven't kept a clean sheet in 5 matches. We haven't scored in 2. Um, I'm gonna, I'll go 2-1 Chelsea as
Okay.
well. All right, next match: West Ham versus Man United. What the fuck? Who's worse? Who is underperforming
Oh
more?
man, West Ham's such a bummer, man. I would honestly say West Ham are
Yeah,
underperforming
yeah, they're
more than
15th.
United.
Like
Yeah.
they can't buy a win right now. Like yes, they won 2 weeks ago against Ipswich, which they're 17th, so it's not crazy. Yeah, West Ham just can't buy a win. I don't know. They had an unbelievable transfer window after an unbelievable one the year before, and they
Yes.
just can't do anything.
No, not at all. Do we know how Mohamed Kudus got that red card against Tottenham?
I don't know exactly what happened, but I know I saw something about it. I knew he got that red card. Also, Fulkrug is out for like another couple weeks.
Oh, really? Where's he been the rest of the season?
Well, he hurt his Achilles.
Oh, so he's been banged up the whole time, basically.
I think so. I don't think it was torn. I think it was just like some kind of strain. But I think he's
Yeah,
been out for a couple of games.
gotcha. Hey, how about this? Jose Mourinho tied Manchester United today.
Look at that.
Yeah. And you know what I just reminded myself of? I was supposed to come up with the Mourinho minute, little Fenerbahce update every week. I need
There
to.
it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna start
They
doing that.
drew with Manchester
Yeah,
United.
not really a minute, but yeah, dude, I don't know about Manchester United. Like they just can. uh, Out of the recent seasons where, trust me, they've been pissing me off. This season is on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I cannot stand this team. Why did you buy Mateus de Ligt and ruin him? Oh, Mateus de Ligt's center back pairing for last game? He was center back with Johnny Evans
Yeah.
once again. Oh, man, someone do something about that guy. And then Eriksson starting, he's like 92.
They're banged
They're
up. They're so banged up right now. Obviously, the biggest key
they're bad.
contributor on this team, Anthony's banged up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harry Maguire's hurt for a couple more weeks. So is Mainu. He's out for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Evans is doubtful, is what it says. Lenny Yoro's back in training, so we might see him get in at center back in the next few games to pair with DeLitt. But fuck, they
Yep.
just can't figure it out. Also, is Anthony
Well,
the worst signing in England history? Like in Premier League history, is he
uh,
the worst?
I would have to do more research, but he's up there
He is
for
so
sure.
fucking bad, and they spent so much money on him.
Yeah, and last match against Brentford, I wanted to bring this up to you because it's just keeps getting more embarrassing for Manchester United. Xerxes gets subbed in the 74th minute. He's done nothing for this team all year long. And guess what? Rasmus Højlund is probably still better than him.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's keep going. You bought Manuel Ugarte probably to replace Casemiro or Eriksen. He's not even starting over them.
Nope.
He came in the 88th minute of this game. You're leaving Casemiro in for 88 minutes. Hang on. Mazraoui isn't better than one of your fullbacks. In fact, you actually moved Lisandro Martinez to fullback, and he's apparently better than Mazraoui.
Yeah.
The only good player that you bought was De Ligt, and he's the only one starting. They have just fucked it.
Dude.
Completely fucked it.
Fucking Eric Ten Hag sucks. He's such a bad manager. I don't get how he still has a job. I just don't understand it because, like you're pointing out, it's all these things. Well, they're not better. They're not better than the guys they signed. Ten Hag doesn't know how to incorporate new players into this system because he doesn't even know how to incorporate the players he got in the first place.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how he still has a job.
And on top of that, like, Kobe Mainu, a 19-year-old, player who's injured, you're probably relying on him to come back more than anything right now.
You shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to rely on that. You shouldn't have to. It sucks.
Oh, crap. Mason Mount's doubtful? Whoa.
That's really going to change things.
Yeah.
All right, what do we think with this match?
0-0. Not even kidding.
I like the sound of that. I will say West Ham is at least scoring goals. They've scored 11 goals. Manchester United have only scored 7. There's only 3 teams worse than them in goals scored right now in the Prem.
I'll take it back. I'll give them a 1-1.
Okay.
1-1.
I'm going to go 1-0 West Ham.
I know
I said they can't buy a win, but Manchester United buy everything and they still can't win. All right, final match. Arsenal-Liverpool, number 1 versus number 3. Obviously, Liverpool's number 1. What is up with Arsenal? Just like they were looking so good, and then they decided, I think across their last 5 Premier League matches, they've had 3 red cards. What the fuck are they doing? So you have no William Saliba this week against Liverpool, so I would go ahead and say they're fucked.
Yeah, they also played Kai Havertz and Raheem Sterling. I'm looking back at the Bournemouth lineup right now. They actually kind of ran a more like dumbed down, version. Like Kai at striker, Mikel Merino at cam, Raheem Sterling on the right, and Trossard on the left. So like I kind of understand the clean sheet there, to be honest with you. That just you're kind of bench players, but still,
you've been missing
ugly
Odegaard.
Game.
You've been missing Odegaard since that international break. I guess was it before the international break? He got hurt. I think it was the first international break.
That sounds right.
So you've been missing Odegaard. You had Declan Rice had a red card suspension. I think for the last game or maybe the game before. Now Saliba's got the red card suspension. Bukayo Saka has been banged up. You're Timber. You just can't keep that guy on the field at all. It's just, and also Calafiore, you haven't been able to keep on the field because he got hurt in that first international break as well. It's just not. You can't even put a full team on the field right now, so I can't expect you to win.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
the injuries
you're
are
exactly right.
Too important of players. And obviously the red card suspensions are a problem.
For sure. And I want to go over to the other side of the ball to a team that you and I were not that high on, but damn it, they might be top 2 team in the world right now.
Yeah, Arne
Liverpool.
Slot. What a fucking start to his career.
Hat off to you, man. And it's really making me hope that Mohamed Salah doesn't leave this team because he is just still so good.
Yeah,
still so damn good.
And the defense is really the good part. They've allowed 3 goals in the Prem this season. That's it.
Only 3 goals?
3 goals in 8 matches. The next lowest is 6 for Nottingham Forest.
Damn.
Yeah. It's been unreal.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I'm pretty sure Allison has been out for a couple weeks now. He's still out.
He didn't play against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
yeah,
insane
no,
what Liverpool is capable of at the defensive side.
you know who else didn't play against Chelsea? Luis Diaz. He came in as a sub. You know, looking at this right now, we pretty much played all of our starters, and Liverpool did not.
Yeah.
That's not a very good sign.
They are unreal right now. They're coming off of a win against Leipzig in the Champions League this week. It's just, they're rolling, man. They are. It's crazy.
And even, you know, you and I kind of were hinting at the fact that Liverpool might not have any depth. A little, obviously, that was kind of more of a last season thing. But now, I don't really know where it's come from, but they have depth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In this team now. So, yeah, honestly, like, you know, Chelsea, Liverpool rivals, I don't really like Liverpool, but like, I respect what they're doing. It's been phenomenal. Phenomenal.
You know what signing has just kind of not done anything yet for Liverpool, I will point out? Federico Chiesa. He's played one match.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about him.
Yeah, he's played one match. He played 18 minutes. Hasn't played at all outside of that.
He's out.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, he's out right now. I know that.
Now.
But like he hasn't played all of October, but he was there for 3 matches, I guess. He played like a Carabao Cup match against West Ham. Played pretty well. He had an assist. And then like immediately got hurt. He was benched, didn't come in for the 28th of September, and then he just has been hurt since. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But like the fact that they're playing that well, and one of the like best young players in Europe, he kind of has been considered for a couple of years, at least promising young players. He's hurt, and you don't even need him.
No. Why? You know, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I'm surprised that I didn't bring this up to you whenever we actually found out about the signing. But with a team that has Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Jota could even play out wide if you really needed him to. Why do you sign Chiesa?
I don't know, because you also have Darwin Núñez, who's played on the wing as well.
That is true. Forget about him on the wing.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it just adds to it. And also, I think Chiesa could get some utilization as like a cam. I think he's capable of that. So that could be part of it as well.
At Cam, you have, you know, you could go McAllister, you could go Soboslai, you could go no Cam, maybe even Curtis Jones. Who knows?
They kind of just are getting away with whatever they want. Shout out to Arne Slot. I totally underestimated him. I thought there was going to be a way bigger hangover after Klopp. What are we thinking score-wise here? I'm thinking 2-0 Liverpool. I just don't trust the Arsenal offense.
Oh, a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the defense is unreal.
I'm going to go with another 2-1 for Liverpool. I think Arsenal's good for a goal, for sure.
Fair enough. All right. Rest of the schedule today, Leicester versus Nottingham Forest, if you're listening on Friday. After that, Saturday, you got Villa versus Bournemouth, Brentford, Ipswich, Brighton versus Wolves, Man City versus Southampton, and Everton Fulham. So you can tell we didn't talk about any of the Saturday games because they all suck. Sunday is three of the games on Sunday are the 3 games we talked about, and there's only 4 of them. Chelsea, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Spurs, West Ham versus Man United, and Arsenal versus Liverpool. And you got nothing until next Saturday, which we have a couple of good matchups to talk about next week. So I definitely look forward to that. But let's quickly hit the UCL. We're kind of we're pushing our time a bit here. So
as we do,
we do that often, but I don't want to hit the 2:30 mark today, and we are quickly trending towards that. So let's move over to the Champions League here. This is a weird week, really weird week.
Oh, really weird
Champions
week.
League. I think that's kind of all we've been getting, which kind of aids to why this league format has been good. It's just the parity that we've seen, and I think part of that due in part to just seeing new opponents every week and not knowing who you're going to see. Like, obviously, you know who it is, but you don't know what that squad's going to look like on the turnaround. There is no turnaround. And I think that makes it a little more unpredictable. Hence why we have teams like fucking Brest. Yes, they drew this week, but with Leverkusen. I thought that Brest was going to be kind of just a fluke. They drew Leverkusen. We'll talk a little bit more about that because that was one of the Wednesday games. But Tuesday's outcomes, you had Milan beating Club Brugge 3-1. Club Brugge got a red card. Milan was just going to dominate that game anyways.
Christian Pulisic again, man.
He's fucking awesome. I
Yeah.
have like a newfound appreciation for Christian Pulisic because, first of all, I believe he's on his sixth manager on the U.S. men's national team. He has dealt with just the most bullshit of like any American player in Europe, and he also deals with it on the U.S. team. I love the fact that he's just killing it at Milan. He is. It's great.
Yeah. I would imagine that AC Milan would be like one of those teams that it's like a very like player friendly
Yeah,
environment to be a part of.
I would assume.
More so than Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And then like he was at
Yeah.
Dortmund where like he was very good at Dortmund. It's just like that's such a competitive place to play as a young player.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, next game, Monaco 5-1 over Red Star. Damn. The French teams are hot right now in the Champions League, let me tell you.
Oh, for sure, except for PSG.
Except for PSG, who drew with PSV 1-1.
Yeah, I wish Red Star was a part of the parody. I would have loved to have seen them really catch some wind, but they have been one team that has just sucked.
Yeah, and look, there's some teams in the Champions League that they're put here to do that. Like, Sturm Graz, Bratislava, those teams who both lost again this week. Juventus lost to Stuttgart 1-0 and got a red card.
Yeah.
Juventus got exposed. Stuttgart was like, I think Stuttgart has just given up on whatever the fuck is happening to them right now in Bundesliga and have decided like, okay, we got this. Like, this was going to be a 0-0 draw until Danilo got that red card. Because then you had in the 86 minutes, 2 minutes later, they got a goal disallowed for Stuttgart. They almost scored 1-0 right then. And then they got the goal disallowed, and then Torre scores in the 90th +2 and gets a late win and some much-needed points for Stuttgart. Just a bad look for Juventus.
I just can't wait until you talk about that one game.
Oh, yeah. We're getting there. Arsenal 1-0 over Shakhtar. Who would have guessed? Aston Villa 2-0 over Bologna. Once again, I beg the question. Who would have guessed? Girona 2-0 over Bratislava. And Sporting 2-0 over Sturm Graz. I don't even have to say it. This one matters. This is where it matters. Real Madrid 5, Dortmund 2. But at halftime, this was a 2-0 match Dortmund's way. 45 minutes into this match, the entire world turned on Kylian Mbappe in the matter of literally 45 minutes. Like, my Twitter feed was unreal. The amount of hatred towards Kylian Mbappe I was seeing. And then 45 minutes later, Dortmund's garbage and Vinny is the best player in the world and potentially a Ballon d'Or favorite is now the conversation I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to win Ballon d'Or because Brazil did not play very well at Copa America. But I think that is limiting to him because I think Rodri gets that advantage over him. But Rodri's
also been broken.
Yeah. He's now injured. So it's tough. I don't know who's going to get it. I know this has nothing to do with this match necessarily, but did hear that Rodrigo is free to leave whenever he'd like, as long as it's during a transfer window, of course.
If I am a striker not named Mbappe on Madrid, I'm leaving.
That's fair. Rodrigo has a lot more, like, Vinny probably has more reason to leave than Rodrigo, but Rodrigo has the better ability probably because he's going to be cheaper. And a big contributor no matter where he goes, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Nonetheless, Real Madrid coming back and winning 5-0 and literally 5 unanswered goals in the second half. Just unreal. You had a goal that started it all. The scoring starts with Antonio Rudiger. And then 2 minutes later, Vinicius Jr., you wait about 20 minutes, Lucas Vazquez gets on the score sheet. 3 minutes after that, Vinny scores again. Now it's a 4-2 game. Like that.
Yeah.
And then in the 90th +3, which is only, 7 minutes after Vinny's last goal, he scores again.
Yeah, I want to let the people know that I was driving home from campus, totally forgot that there was Champions League, and I get a text from Grayson,
Yeah.
and he just goes, "Are Real Madrid ass?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "I wonder what's happening." And then I looked at the score, and it was
Yeah.
halftime. It was
Yeah.
2-0, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, they've had other hiccups in the UCL." Check the score like 2 hours later, and
Yeah.
I just texted Grayson back. I was like, "Real Madrid are not ass."
Yeah. It's crazy. It's
That
crazy.
was
And
funny.
like the whole world agreed with us at halftime. And then they all changed their mind like we did.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on
Oh
though.
man.
Atalanta and Celtic, a 0-0 draw, and then we get to that Brest versus Leverkusen 1-1 draw. And look, I think my thing with Brest here, maybe they are a good team. They drew Leverkusen. I thought they were a fluke because their first two matches for Leverkusen were like, I'm forgetting them already. I had them written down and I erased them for some stupid reason. Um, Sorry. They played Salzburg and Sturm Graz were their first two matches, and they won both of them handedly.
Hmm.
But I didn't expect them to beat Leverkusen, and they didn't. But they drew them, and that was kind of more surprising. um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
In a way.
I'm very impressed by Brest, and it just adds on to these French teams that are playing so well right now in the Champions League, considering that is a league where outside of PSG and Monaco plenty of years ago, we haven't seen shit out of. The Liga just
No, you're
does
exactly
not
right.
produce European contenders. And this
No, it
season,
does not.
out of nowhere, they look great.
And a lot of that could just come from the fact that, and domestically they have no competition.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Except for like a few.
the bottom half of Liga is like the worst soccer you could watch.
It is, yeah, a travesty.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, kind of an interesting situation to monitor with Leverkusen is all the players that are going to jump ship now that the team is not as good, and one being Florian Wirtz. I've heard a lot of Real Madrid talks
their
with
manager
him.
might jump ship too.
Yeah, he might take him to Real Madrid.
That's true. He could be at Real Madrid. He also could be at Man City. Seems like Pep might be leaving for something. If he does, that you know what would really suck though is if he leaves and it just like Liverpool wins the league anyways this year and like Arne Slot is just immediately the guy.
Imagine.
It's gonna suck.
No, I want to see Pep manage Brazil.
That's Carlos' job. That's Carlos. Carlos got to go to Brazil.
I don't know if he will anymore.
He should.
I think David Moyes should be Manchester City's manager for the next 15 years.
I think Brendan Rodgers should make a comeback.
Yeah, Erik ten Hag should just jump to the other team in Manchester.
You know what? I know a guy. I'm sure he's already in the area. Maybe he's in Merseyside. I don't know. Wayne Rooney should get another shot, man.
Yeah.
He's like statistically one of the worst managers in the history of the sport. But he should get a shot with Man City. Yeah. I'm sure he would take that job.
Get Thierry Henry in there.
Yeah, facts. TT is goated. He is like the manager in waiting for the French national team, though.
Oh, yeah. When Deschamps is gone, it's all Thierry.
Also,
all him.
I haven't given us enough appreciation. Didier Deschamps is like the best name ever.
It is a good name.
Because it's spelled so differently than you would say it, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, next game. Man City 5-0 over Sparta Praha. That's another one of those UCL punching bags. You had goals.
UCL punching
Foden
bags.
scored in the 3rd minute, and then they just like held off for a little while. And then in the 58th minute, they score again. Holland scores his first goal. John Stones scores in the 64th. Holland scores in the 68th. And then Mateus Nunes just kind of beats the dead horse with a penalty in the 88th minute. You know it's bad when you're up 4-0 and you've got Mateus fucking taking the fucking penalties. Next match, Liverpool 1-0 over Leipzig. We already kind of mentioned that one. How about Barcelona waltzing into this match? Obviously, it was at home, but they beat Bayern Munich 4-1. And all of a sudden, just like we were talking about, all of a sudden Real Madrid changed in the matter of a half. Hansi Flick has become the hottest name in the managerial conversation after one fucking game. Like, yeah, they've been scoring a lot of goals, but one game, he is just the guy immediately. Like, I'm seeing fucking edits already of Hansi Flick on the sideline. He hasn't even managed long enough for there to be that much
No.
footage. It's crazy.
No, he's doing good with the resources that he has, and the resources that he doesn't have is money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How about Rafinha? Probably
Dude.
this. Why does this feel like one of the best games Rafinha has ever had in his whole career? And we got
loves this.
Kubarsi.
Yeah.
Kubarsi starting again. Unbelievable.
And who was the kid in the midfield that has taken Frankie de Jong's job? Casado.
There's two guys.
Casado. Never heard of him. Mark Casado, young guy, 21 years old, literally younger than me by a few months, granted, but he literally turned 21 in September. And he's pretty well, I would say he deserves to be starting over Frankie de Jong right now, which is crazy.
Fair.
He's the second highest paid player in the La Liga, and does not deserve to be starting over Casado right now. Barcelona is just a goal scoring machine. I don't get it.
Barcelona team it's insane. Flick is kind of sort of revived Lewandowski a little bit. Who is Fermin Lopez? Who is Mark Casado? Kubarsi's in this lineup. Their goalie's name is Inaki Peña.
Yeah.
Who is Inaki Peña?
Yeah, exactly. You know what really pisses me off though? Nico Williams is going to be on this team next year. I'm sure of it. But also, Rafinha,
it sucks that he's hurt right now.
Rafinha saw people using his jersey for Nico Williams edits, and he was like, "Nah, fuck that."
Nah. Yeah.
All right, we'll move on from that game and talk about Lille beating the brakes off of Atleti 3-1. Another French team showing up. Why is Atleti just struggling right now in the Champions League? I can't necessarily explain it.
Yeah, I don't know. You and I were pretty high on them, especially after they signed Conor Gallagher, who has been starting. Shout out.
Yes.
But hadn't really mattered for them, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you look at this lineup and you're just like, how the fuck do they even allow 3 goals when you have Jan Oblak in goal, Molina? Kind of weird to have Axel Witsel as your right center back. Kind of odd. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you have Jimenez. Galan has been a very good left back. He was not in this game. And then, they're running a 4-4-2 as Simeone likes to do. And you have Alvarez, Gallagher, Koke, DePaul in the midfield. And then Griezmann and Sorloth, which I don't think is how you say it, but I'm just going to say it that way. Up front, you should, first of all, score more goals and give up less. And you just aren't. I don't know how else to explain it. They're just not doing it.
Yeah.
And also, shout out Lille. Jonathan David, what a fucking beast. Yeah. He didn't even start.
Big beast.
Or at least I don't think he started, did he? No.
Yeah, no, he did not.
Didn't even start. Scored a brace. So, yeah, they're doing
technically 2 braces.
Stuff. What?
He scored twice.
Well, no, brace is 2 goals.
I thought a brace was if you're already up by 1 goal, you score a brace.
No, a brace is just a 2-goal performance.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm pretty damn sure. You can double check me, but I've been saying that for 6 years, 7 years.
I thought if you were up by 1 goal. No, you're right.
Okay. Yeah, that's what
wow. I've been misusing it. But you see what I'm saying? A brace would be okay, you're only 1 goal ahead.
I understand.
The goal to make it 2 goals ahead would be the brace. Yeah.
I understand your thinking. I've just always known 2 goals in a game is brace.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate Google AI for telling me that before I even got to click on anything. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Benfica lost 1-0 to Feyenoord. Dinamo beat Salzburg 2-0. And Inter beat Young Boys 1-0. Fun fact, Dinamo is 1 spot ahead of Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich beat them 9-2.
It's the new format, man.
Yeah.
This is what we're in for.
It's pretty interesting. The table is a fucking mess. We're not even going to go through it, but...
top 3 is Premier League.
Yeah, of course. And then Monaco, Brest right behind them. There's only 2 teams that are unbeaten, or not unbeaten, but only 2 teams that have won all 3, and it's Aston Villa and Liverpool, and they're the top 2 teams.
Yeah, and then you got some teams that are potentially in some trouble here with AC Milan, which that was actually their first win
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
UCL, and then Atletico Madrid's there,
Leipzig.
RB Leipzig. That's really it. But
Yeah, yeah. Girona right on the cusp, as well as Bayern, right there at the bottom. Um,
yeah,
but like Celtic and Sparta Praha are still alive, which is pretty amazing.
wild. And Celtic has been beat the fuck up on.
Yeah, yeah. Still alive though.
Oh man.
Still alive.
Yep, still alive.
Also, shout out Sporting. I know they haven't, played like high quality opponents, but they're winning. They beat Lille, so
Yeah,
that's impressive.
they've been all right.
Um,
Yeah.
all right, let's wrap it up here for the UCL. Like I said, I don't really want to hit the 2:30 mark. I've got a feeling we will now because we are at about 2:15 into this episode. So let's begin questions time. Why don't we? Got some festive questions according to the title here from Nathan.
Hell
This one
yeah.
doesn't seem very festive, but would you rather be the best golfer in the world or the best bowler in the world? You will make the same money.
Make the same money. I golfer. Fuck bowling, dude.
Bowling's cool, but like if I was bragging, okay, let's be honest. If you're going to be the best at one of these things, you'd want it to be golf so you can brag about it. If you brag about being the best bowler, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, you're definitely a loser.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, yeah,
Biggest
definitely
loser.
golf. I don't care about the money when it comes to that. I'm talking bragging rights solely. I could make no money off of both of them. I'd rather be the best golfer.
Oh, for sure. Hang on. I was gonna. Crap, this is so bad. Oh yeah. Who do you think you are? I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
That's what I couldn't think of.
Pete.
That's
something.
what bowlers do.
Pete something. Don't know his last name. What is your favorite Pokemon?
So this is coming from someone who's never watched the show, never
Oh,
played
okay.
like any of the card
Cool.
games or anything. The Pokemon that I always thought the coolest was like the turtle with like the piece of land on his back. I don't know
Okay.
even what his name
Like
is.
Bulbasaur, but like the higher evolutions is what it sounds like. Or are you
I
talking
don't
about
think
a
it's
later one?
Bulbasaur.
Oh, are you're talking about the rock type? It's a starter. I believe its name is Torterra. It could be.
Or
Yeah, Torterra. Um, it's a
yeah,
final
Torterra.
evolution of Turtwig. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Torterra is pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's go for an incorrect answer. If you say Typhlosion, bad guy. That has to do with some leaked information from like this weird hack of like Nintendo's servers or something, where like they found all these like backstories on Pokemon, and like Typhlosion is just like a predator, which is weird.
What?
Yeah, probably a worse reflection on the guy that wrote that.
Yeah.
Than anything because it's all made up. It has nothing to do with the actual Pokemon themselves. It's just
Yeah.
lore behind them. So that's kind of fucked up. So don't choose Typhlosion. Personally, if we're talking aesthetics, I did play some of the games growing up. I had the cards. I watched the shows. Big fan of Blaziken. Thought Blaziken was always a cool Pokemon.
Blaziken.
He just looked cool.
Oh yeah, Blaziken is pretty cool.
Yeah, if we're going starters, I'm a Squirtle guy. OG starters. As well as Chimchar. I like Chimchar. Good starter. Fire type.
Is Chimchar what Charmander? No.
No. Charmander goes to Charizard. He goes Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard.
Oh, so then Chimchar turns into Monferno.
Yeah, Chimchar. Well, he
Monferno.
goes to Infernape, I believe, and then Monferno. Could be misremembering that, but I believe that's how it goes. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Legendary bird wise, out of the OG3 legendary birds, I'm a Zapdos guy. Yeah, that's about the extent. I don't know that much about Pokemon. It's just like something that I faintly remember from my childhood, really.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing. What was your favorite Halloween candy and your least favorite Halloween candy? I know my
Easy. Least favorite Whoppers.
Dots. Dots are fucking ass.
Okay.
And I used to eat
favorite,
them, but they suck.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had a dot.
Really? You
before.
don't need
Yeah,
to.
I
They
know what they
suck.
are.
They're like
Good to
shittier
know.
gumdrops.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite for me though, Milky Way or Crunch?
I don't love Crunch as much as I think I did as a kid. I like Bunch of Crunch. I think we've had that conversation in recent weeks on this podcast.
Yeah, because I didn't know it existed,
Yeah, it's the
which
best.
is
It's 10
wild.
times better than actual Crunch because sometimes Crunch has too many of the puffed rice pieces and you actually taste them.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever had that
Yeah,
before.
that sucks. So they're a little too inconsistent with Crunch, especially the fun size ones. It happens more. Um, and I can say this because I was a fat child. I, you know, I've lost weight
Nice.
now, but I was a candy loving child. Reese's are like the old reliable when it comes to
Mm.
Halloween candy, but like you only get a few of those. Things that get slept on, the fruit flavored Tootsie Rolls. Those are awesome.
Yeah,
I love those things.
yeah,
Also,
those are good.
100 grand gets slept on. Um, they're pretty solid.
Yeah,
I,
that would
I
be
don't
pretty
mind a
cool. I
hundred
like,
grand every now and then.
yeah, the razor blades are fun.
Yeah. Vegetables.
Yeah, like a carrot.
Yeah. Anything that comes in a
Uh,
plastic bag, great.
yeah,
Fentanyl.
yeah.
No, I think my
Um,
number one, like the candy that I'm most excited, like if I'm a little kid or I go back to those days, I open up my bag and I see things in there. I think it just has to be Reese's cups. I think that's like number one, but not the mini ones
Fair.
that you have to undo the foil on. That's annoying, and it always gets stuck to the
Yeah,
sides.
yeah, always.
Yeah, I like either full size Reese's cups or pumpkins, the Reese's pumpkins. Any of the shaped Reese's are better than all the others. Any of the holiday special shapes are better. Once
Yeah.
again, I'm overqualified. Uh, are you pro haunted house or would you rather stay away from them? I don't give a shit for haunted houses personally.
Oh, I've never been to like a serious one
Agree.
before.
We have a relatively
I
popular one, Paranoia, over kind of in our
yeah,
area, and like that one's
yep.
fine. I think it's I've been through it once. It's fine.
I've never been to Paranoia before.
I was also like was like no, I guess I had a friend there with me, but me and this other person were like fifth wheeling two people or two
Ah,
couples.
damn.
So that was kind of boring. Um
Yeah,
yeah, but like none of that stuff's particularly scary to me because I don't watch like horror movies or anything, and I just I go into them knowing like okay, this stuff is here to try and scare me, so I just try to anticipate it, and it's pretty obvious.
yeah,
That's the way that I see it. I have, I'm not very well versed, but like I'm not necessarily against them. I just don't find them that entertaining. I guess.
yeah. That's a good point. I would say that I'm more of a haunted maze guy than a haunted house guy.
Gotcha.
So I guess
I don't know if
like
I've been in a
overall I'm
maze.
just indifferent. Mazes are pretty fun,
Yeah,
especially where I come from.
that's
Butt
true.
fuck
Yeah,
nowhere.
that's
There,
fair.
dude, with the chainsaw. I had this one guy one time. I was on like the back of the trailer. I guess there was like a section where it was like a maze ride, like a
hmm
haunted maze ride too. And this guy, he gets really close to me. He's in this clown mask. He's like, "I think I go to the gym with you." He's like, "You go to Bodyplex?"
It just totally breaks
Broke
character.
character. Yeah.
He's never getting hired at Disney.
No, no, but I was like, "Oh yeah, it's nice to meet you." And he's just
That's
like,
so fucking
that was
weird.
that was just such a from where I'm from interaction.
Yeah, that's fair. He just can't help himself.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no.
No, I don't think I've ever been in a maze. I've been in like a mirror maze. Those things are weird.
I
It's
yeah,
so
throw up in one of
disorienting.
those.
Um, yeah, I've never really been one for like I've never been much of a Halloween guy.
Mm.
I liked getting the candy, but probably from like 8th grade on, I didn't go out. I don't even know if I trick or treated in 7th grade. I don't think I did.
Oh wow.
It just wasn't really my thing. And like I
I
had like a relatively normal sized neighborhood. I didn't have like a big neighborhood. It's not small. Um, but like there wasn't a ton of kids my age. A lot of the kids were older, and so they were already kind of done by the time I
yeah.
would have cared. And I also
Yeah, I
I'm
don't.
not like a Halloween party guy. I went to like one Halloween party in high school.
Oh,
Haven't gone
Halloween
to
parties
any
are
of them
badass.
in college. I've never really experienced like the Halloween weekend thing.
Yeah, we one time me and a whole group we were in Athens for Halloween, like dressed up and everything. That
Mhm.
was a good ass time.
I haven't dressed up in a
That was really
while.
fun. Yeah,
I might have to this year. I think I might
yeah.
this I might have to be at one in 2 days. I have no idea what I would wear.
Yeah,
I don't
frat
have to be
beaches.
there. I can. I'm
Yeah,
invited.
frat beach is the most overrated bullshit that happens at UGA. There's just like, you get to dress up, but you're just standing out on a beach while a bunch of cops watch you. That's
Yeah,
literally
it's
what
not
it
fun.
is. Just a crowd of people on the beach. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, final question.
good question.
Yeah,
Good
that was a good one.
question.
Who would the scariest NFL player to face, or who would be the scariest NFL player to face in a Oklahoma drill?
Um,
I think.
I have a niche pick.
Okay, so we kind of talked about this. I think on the live stream, on Monday,
Oh, okay.
and but it was a very particular one. I think to me, it's way scarier to be the running back than the defensive player.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh
cause
yeah.
like, look, I would be scared of Derrick Henry. Don't get me wrong, but he's got the ball in his hands. He's trying to get past me. Fucking like Lawrence Taylor is trying to kill me.
Yeah.
that's that's the difference there. But go ahead. What
Yeah.
was your thought?
Um, surprisingly, I wouldn't say Vontez Burfict here
Okay,
because I hate so much. I hate Vontez Burfict so much that I probably wouldn't be scared.
which is
But
a false sense of confidence, I would say.
it is very false sense of confidence. Yeah, I'm not trying to talk shit. That was a joke. I would say Terrell Suggs, even more so than Ray Lewis.
Oh, see, I was thinking Ray would be scared. Derek
Uh,
Brooks, maybe.
Patrick Willis.
Patrick
Oh
Willis.
man, he would be pretty bad.
Yeah,
Luke Kuechly.
I think for the most part,
No,
it's linebackers for sure.
always. Who's that Texans guy that like was headbutting dudes without a helmet? Was it Cashman or something? What
Blake
was his
Cashman.
fucking
Is that who he's
name?
talking about?
No,
No,
I
no,
don't think it was
you're.
Blake
Oh fuck.
Cushing.
Oh
Brian
yeah,
Cushing.
Brian Cushing. Yeah, that guy's
Yeah,
a maniac.
he was. Yeah, he was a
I
maniac.
guess like you put Urlacher in that
Um,
conversation too.
Reggie White will just break you in half.
That's true, but he wasn't as fast. I'm thinking because like the linebackers are the perfect guys that are the mixture of fast and strong. Because like
Yeah,
a safety would be scary because they'll hit hard as shit. Like I don't want to be in there with Cam Chancellor,
yeah,
but I'd maybe want Cam Chancellor over like Ray Lewis because it's just like the size is
yeah.
a huge issue.
No, you know what? For me, it would be Brian Dawkins because I'm gonna have to
Brian
get up and
Dawkins.
act this out.
Ugh.
This is what it would look like trying to face Brian Dawkins.
I hope you slam yourself on the ground. This would be
Bro, he would be like in the dark
yeah.
and like growling at you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's
Did the mic
anybody
pick me up
else.
back there?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, good.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I don't know.
You'll have to tune into
I think
YouTube to
it's
see
just
the little
all
bit that
yeah,
I just did. But
definitely. It's just all linebackers that I can think of.
you really, Brian Dawkins wouldn't be up there for
Well,
you, like
no,
number
he
one?
would. That's what I'm saying. Like Cam Chancellor would be up there for me. Ed Reed would be up there for me. It's just like I don't know. I think it's really linebackers to me because it's the mixture of like I'm not only getting hit by a guy that's like 220, but he's also running really fast.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. And then I guess if I had to choose an offensive player, it probably would be Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Or maybe
Derrick
a
Henry
fullback.
or
Maybe like Pat Ricard would suck. They're both on the same team.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Who I can't think of what Nigerian Nightmare. What's his name?
What?
The Nigerian Nightmare. He's a fullback. He's like a Hall of Famer. Played for the Chiefs.
What?
What is his name? Oh my god, I can't think of it. Yeah, he's
fuck.
like a legend.
Oh shit. Why? I'm blanking on it too, but I know who you're talking about.
Christian Okoye?
Oh yeah,
Okoye.
Okoye, I think.
Okoye. Thank you, Okoye. Yes.
Yeah. Also, former Chiefs fullback Anthony Sherman. Great.
I don't even know who that is.
Hold on. I'll just go ahead and throw it. Mike Allstott is the guy that I don't want to
Oh,
face.
yeah.
He's scary as fuck.
What about like a wide receiver, like maybe like Calvin Johnson? George Pickens would just be mean.
Yeah, DK Metcalf.
Oh yeah, DK for sure.
Fast, strong, big. Kind of fits that mold.
Yeah. Jerome Bettis.
Yeah. T.O.
Yeah.
He was kind of strong. Like Michael Irvin maybe would be a better answer. He was just a big guy.
Huge guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that
another good question.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was
Happy Halloween.
Well, we'll actually be recording on Halloween next week.
Yeah.
Next Thursday.
But they won't know Happy Halloween until
it's
the Friday after if we told them then.
That's correct. We will have the college football show for you to listen to on Thursday. So don't do that before you go out trick or treating. For all of our 10-year-old listeners.
Yeah.
If you are going trick or treating and you are a 10-year-old listening to this, don't be the little bitches that go out at like 5 p.m. Wait till it's dark, at least.
Yeah, please wait till it's dark. Unless you got a small child.
Yeah, if you got a small child, I get it. But also, I'm not bringing them candy. I'll be recording the podcast. All right. So, obviously, make sure you're checking out everything we've got going on. You got the college football show on Thursdays to listen to. Of course, we have new episodes of the podcast today, of course, because you're listening to it. And, of course, on Mondays as well to listen to. You got to follow us on Instagram. Stay up to date with everything we've got going on. Of course, subscribe here on YouTube. I don't know why I didn't say that. And comment your favorite Halloween candy. And then join the Second and Short subreddit, r/2ndand short. If you want to add to those festive questions that Nathan gave us, submit them by about 4 p.m. on Thursdays. We will answer them here on Questions Time. Yeah, we got a fun weekend ahead of us. Like you talked about, Halloween coming up. Anything you want to hit on before we get out of here, Luke? Obviously, you have a big week ahead of you with the World Series.
These vagabond shoes are longing to stray. It's been 15 years. Bring it home.
Okay.
Go Yankees.
All right. Well, good luck, Luke. I wish you the best of luck, though I am not rooting for your team.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching, listening, liking, subscribing, commenting, all that jazz. And if you're on the podcast platforms, rating 5 stars and following.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Luke, for joining me as always. And I will catch you guys on Monday. Luke will catch you guys next Friday. I will catch you again as well on the Second Short College Football Show. Thank you for listening.
Yes, sir.
We'll catch you guys later.